I can pull up my OBS real quick and check it out. Input, audio input. And it's desktop audio.
We should be...
We can hear you now.
Good.
Hey.
Yeah, we should be good now.
Then I'm going to start all this over, Matt.
Yeah, sorry about that. Oh, I'm probably peeking. Woo! Okay, go ahead.
All right, so let me get Nate Silver, our special guest, Nate Silver, who you know is the founder of 538 from ESPN, ABC, you name it. I got to get him the Zoom information real quick. So, Burke, why don't you talk through the hand you just played, and then we'll come back and do the introduction to everybody.
Okay, cool. So I'm pretty sure I got sniped. T. Smithin, you son of a bitch. I know that you're out there watching and saw that I had ace-jack suited because I'm not smart enough to cover my cards fast enough. Flopped the old top pair versus top two. I bet called twice and then river to jack, and I just called again because he continued to bet into me. You know how I know he sniped me? Because the river was the jack of hearts. All my draws completed, and he still bet. That's how I know he sniped me. So now I got an uphill battle to fight against. I should have just folded the flop when I got check raised. Probably a pretty bad play, but I'm not here to win this thing, you know? I'm just not. Shout out to whoever Chin's uncle is. I like that name.
So I just sent Nate the Zoom link again, Burke. You might see him pop in the lobby.
Okay.
So, everybody, thank you so much for playing. Thank you so much for watching. This is the S4Y Invitational. My name is Tom Wheaton. I'm the founder and CEO of Faded Spade. On our brand new Faded Spade Card Club, which is an online poker play platform. And, you know, for a couple weeks now, Burke and I have been talking about doing something for the S4Y community to say a thank you to all of his members and his followers and fans. And this is what we put together for you. So, hope you guys are having fun playing. Hope you're enjoying the platform. And Burke, you're giving away a shitload of giveaways and prizes today, man. Can you give it a run through?
Yeah, we, basically we wanted to make sure that everybody was well incentivized to play their A game. So we are giving away many months of S4Y TV, which, you know, it's worth more than the free that we're giving it for, particularly since we've dropped the price point now to $9.99. We also recently partnered with Learn Pro Poker. Or is it Learn Poker Pro? God damn it, I'm going to get this wrong. Yeah, Learn Pro Poker. And they were gracious enough to contribute to the prize pool as well. Welcome, Chin. Happy to have you, my friend. So they are giving away many months to their subscription. Ryan is a well-accomplished MTT player, playing both online and live. For those of you who are looking to get more into the online MTT realm now that we are all kind of shut out from live poker for God knows how long, heavily recommend checking that out. We should be able to get an affiliate link going also for anybody who just wants to subscribe. And then lastly, we are giving away a seat to homeschool. And for those not familiar, that's our 4-week-long intensive training. But we have a new guest.
What's up, Chin?
Not Chin.
It's not me.
Never Chin.
First of all, how did we wind up at the same table, Burke? I still don't understand that. But if Nate is in the lobby, why don't we bring him in, man?
Yeah, I think he's already here. Hi, Nate. Tom doesn't see you, but I see you.
There he is. What up, Nate?
I don't know if you can hear me or not.
I can now.
Got you now.
Hey, how are you guys? My connection apparently is iffy, but I hear you guys now.
Okay, cool. So Nate, we have, it looks like on the stream there is a solid image of your picture, but on the Zoom there is just, there you go. It looks like you're working right now. Oh shoot, hold on, I got a hand.
No one cares about your hand, man. All right, Nate, I'm going to take over because Tom's just losing it here. First, thanks for joining us. Huge fan. Obviously, I think all the poker communities followed 538 closely for quite an extended period of time. for as long as I can remember, actually. And I'm kind of curious about that whole transition. So we all know your background was originally in poker. How did you then take that into, like, I guess, a data-driven field where you're basically just creating models, the best I can understand?
So I think it really is a very similar mode of thinking, where in some ways it's like applied statistics, right? It's not quite right way to put it. But you know, you're trying to assess information under conditions of uncertainty, right? And you have to do so in a way that isn't like academic purely, but is practical, and you know, and you're taking different qualities and quantities of information and trying to assess risk, and you actually kind of benefit from assessing risk correctly and uncertainty correctly, and that's like pretty rare, I guess, in some ways. In most things that humans try to do, we actually get rewarded for being able to distinguish, you know, 30% probability from a 35% probability or something like that, and that
Right.
can affect your decision.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes me stick out a little bit when I'm in journalism, and people in journalism by and large don't think that way, right? They tend to be very like results oriented, is one way we put it in poker, and so it makes me kind of very, very different when we go and cover like an election or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's an interesting way of putting it, because surprisingly enough, I think that even the poker community kind of fails at this. So I like the way that you framed it in the sense of you're evaluating risk and following these models, but in a more practical way. And you know, I've made a lot of cases for that's something that poker has kind of gotten wrong, because we fell so in love with the game theory model, which you know, only really operates in a vacuum scenario.
And Bert, heads up, chat is saying they can hear you, not really everybody else, so you might just need to bump up the desktop audio
Okay.
volume as high as your mic volume.
Okay, cool.
So Nate, it's a Detroit hat tonight. It was a Yankee hat during the Morning Brew tournament, man. I was frozen.
I mean, I'm from Michigan. I live in New York now, so trying to represent different communities here. But yeah,
We got Pittsburgh
yeah,
in the
no, I
back
mean,
for
and, you
Berkey.
know, I think there are some parallels to the GTO stuff in poker, where you know, to have empirical knowledge of kind of what a certain player pool plays like is quite valuable, and might make you deviate a fair amount, right? You know, let's say hypothetically that you're in quarantine times and playing a lot more home games against a certain pool of people, versus if you were kind of just, as I used to kind of be, right, say like a weekend occasional warrior, where you would go take a poker trip. This is what I would do, right? Like a poker trip every other month, right? So you go to Atlantic City or Philly or somewhere, right, or Vegas, play a tournament, play some cash. It's very different than when you're in a concentrated setting with the same group of people. And in some ways, it's more relevant CTO if you're playing repeatedly, because you have to balance better, you have to detect flaws in your game. In some ways, though, also, you know, clearly there are some people that you want to exploit. Clearly there are a lot of dynamics that just affect the mood of the game, right? And kind of what you did in the last orbit and things like that. So kind of trying to marry those two is really important. And I think there probably are some parallels to building an election model, right? Where you need both, right? You both need a sound theoretical understanding of the math behind it. You really do need that, or your model will probably suck, right?
Right.
But you also need all types of practical knowledge about, like, okay, I'm making thousands of decisions about like how to express a parameter or not, right? Or what things I include in the model or don't, right? And like that requires a lot of kind of real world on the ground knowledge too, and a lot of domain knowledge. And so you really, again, it's not an either or. It's like you want to max out on both those categories.
Yeah, sorry, I have a follow-up to that, but I want to make sure that people can hear you. I think that I'm still not capturing my desktop audio. There we go. Okay, hopefully that is going to fix it, but I'm not entirely positive. Yeah, so I think that, like, you know, that's a fundamentally practical way of looking at it, which I think, like, you know, to your point, humans kind of ultimately fail at pretty specifically. So when you're talking about like how you've extrapolated out to 538, which is dealing with the general populace at a pretty high frequency, most people think very binarily, right? So I know you got a lot of backlash, and I don't want to bring it up as a needle, but I do think that you have a really good take on this, and it's worth getting out there. Like the Trump Hillary election, people saw the predictive models that you were putting out saying Hillary's a huge favorite, and then whenever she lost, it was just like, oh, well, you're wrong. But I think that that's like a clear demonstration of not understanding the gradient of how like statistical probabilities work. It's funny when he freezes because he looks so dead.
No. I know. He said he was having some internet problems. That's all right.
I'm pretty sure we missed that entire first answer. I didn't have desktop audio capture on.
That's all right, man. This is, hey, what are we doing? You know, we're not executive producers like Andre.
Sure.
So I'm on a better network now. I was on the wrong network.
Okay.
So now I'm on a good network. So I kind of, Matt, I heard you talk a little bit about 2016. Yeah, that's kind of obviously the foremost example where to me, we did like a really good job of assessing risk, because we had a much higher probability for Trump than kind of both betting markets did and then kind of the informal consensus did.
Yeah.
And so thinking as a poker player, you kind of feel the equivalent of like, okay, boy, I made a great fold on a hand that 95% of poker players would have lost their whole stack on, right? I still lost part of my stack, but like I made this very perceptive play that most people who were not thinking on another level would have not made, right?
Right.
But it's hard to kind of communicate if you are come home from like a poker session, right? And you're talking to your partner and they're like, how'd it go? You're like, well, I lost $400, but I would have lost $1,000 if I didn't make this awesome fold, right?
Right.
The average person's like not going to necessarily be persuaded
Yeah.
by that, right? An expert might say, actually, it's the unheralded skill potentially. But yeah, I mean, so to me, it's very natural to think in terms of what is my like price on something relative to the market, right? And so if I'm like, I think something has a 30% chance and the market is 15, then I'm rooting for the 30% chance to happen in a purely intellectual sense, right? I'm not talking about like what I would want to happen in the actual election, which might be different, right?
Right.
But you should be rooting for that to occur. And that type of thinking is like, I think not very natural to, I mean, they're kind of polar extremes, right? Where like poker players are in certain ways hyper rational and hyper aware of this stuff like no other people on earth, right? I do think like politics is like the other extreme end of this, right? Where people are hyper irrational. I'm not saying about what their political preferences are. I'm saying like how they evaluate, like, you know, and also like elections happen once every 4 years, right? So the other analogy I think of to poker sometimes, it's like, it's a little bit like you're a player and you make the final table of the main event one year, right? And I don't know, you play 90 hands, of which 10 hands involve challenging decisions, right? And 2 or 3 of those wind up on ESPN, right? You forever become known for like, you know, 2 or 3 big decisions, right? Which is a tiny sample relative to all the choices you have to make when you're playing poker professionally.
I can't relate to that at all.
I mean, but no, it is like that, right? And then the more a magnified decision becomes, the more, I mean, you see the same thing in like in the Major League Baseball, like in the World Series or something, right?
Yeah.
Where like baseball is pretty darn random, right? And which team wins the World Series is to some extent random in a 7-game series, right? But everything will be magnified, and like decisions that might be marginally bad will be made to seem catastrophic or vice versa. So I don't know. I just have to look at the fact that like to be in the position I'm in is like hugely lucky. And like the fact that I got so much credit for kind of saying obvious stuff, like, okay, hey, the candidate ahead in the polls is probably going to win, right?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know why people were so amazed by like that in 2012 or whatever. But yeah, to me, I mean, it's weird being in a field where the way that I would evaluate my own performance differs a lot from the way the public might evaluate it, and it kind of forces you to like just be very kind of inwardly motivated, right? And poker, I think, helps with that kind of thing, right? Like one of the things I found myself doing during the pandemic more is like is just kind of running more, like literally like running and jogging, and like it's nice to like have an activity where you're kind of competing against yourself, right? You kind of can set a goal and meet it or not, right? And like it's kind of a fairly pure distillation of kind of how healthy you're feeling on that day or whatever, right? So so that is kind of very in line with my line of thinking.
I have one last question, and then maybe these guys have one, or I want to be mindful of your time, but I think the way you think is incredibly unique and very valuable as a whole, and you're better served out of poker for sure, as far as like for your applications in the world. But you were almost probably before your time if this was your line of thinking throughout your poker career, and you would be incredibly good now. So I guess, like, can you tell me a little bit about how this transition into mainstream media occurred? And then, like, do you miss poker? Do you play at all anymore?
So it occurred partly because of 2006, where the UIGEA passed.
Yep.
So before Black Friday, right? So a couple of things happened, right? I was kind of a limit hold'em specialist at the time, and limit hold'em was, was probably kind of dying. Dying is a strong term, right? But the games are getting less juicy as things migrated into no limit and other forms of poker. But it was really accelerated when a lot of the fish left after UIGEA and kind of probably also been playing too many hours, right? It was kind of like a little kind of permanently, like, not tilty, but like, I guess it is tilt, right? If you're just kind of not playing that sharply, right? So I quit that partly because I had been following passage of that legislation. I had become more interested in like politics that year in 2006. So it kind of actually led to a transition into founding 538. But no, I do miss poker. I've been trying to actually to play more over the past couple of years. It's a little bit weird now, where I had kind of gone from someone who played almost totally online in the mid-aughts to now going and playing in live tournaments or cash sometimes, right? And kind of really getting used to that and kind of really liking the live environment.
Yeah.
And now if you kind of go back and you're playing more online, potentially, you feel kind of very like without all your tools, right? It's kind of weird. You feel like some dinosaur all of a sudden. I think online and live poker are more different than people want to acknowledge sometimes. But yeah, I mean, the big plan is, this is an election year anyway, so probably would not have been playing a lot of live poker even in normal times. So maybe you get a lot of reps in playing poker with friends or in charity tournaments. There are some things that are nice about online. You get more hands per hour, right? Like just kind of seeing stack sizes, as stupid as that sounds, right? If you're used to a live environment, where it kind of requires some mental work to just actually keep track of people's stacks, and like you may not take the next step of like thinking, what's my optimal sizing here so I can get all in on the turn or on the river, right? So like that's a little practical skill that I think I'm helping to learn more of now. But yeah, I'm just kind of using this as like a training period for post-election, post-corona poker, where I hope
so you're
to
making
play.
a comeback, is what you're saying. You're announcing
Maybe
it here first.
Maybe a minor comeback. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's what I was hearing, man. And look, I'm not nearly as smart as either of you, so I'll stay away from the really intelligent questions. But Nate, when we talk about everything happening right now in terms of like from a statistics standpoint, and the whole discussion about, hey, is there going to be round 2 or round 3 of this COVID pandemic? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Because we touched on it in the Morning Brew discussion, and I really liked your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little hard to know what kind of people's priors are, in part because it varies a lot from person to person, in part because you don't have as many kind of casual conversations these days anymore. Look, I don't think that coronavirus is something that we're just going to magically solve, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be with us for some period of months at least, and maybe longer than that. I do think that over time, like kind of people will innovate, right? There are a lot of countries where they seem to have used a lot of different strategies to like solve the problem, right? So maybe one way to think about it, it's like, okay, it's not necessarily inevitable that we have a huge spike in cases like you had in New York or Italy, for example. And in fact, we have a lot of tools to fight it. And the right combination of those tools can make it something more manageable. Do I think we have that combination in the United States right now? Like, probably not, right? But but there are a lot of hopeful stories like South Korea or whatever, where life has changed, but semi-normal. At the same time, in the long run, the solution probably involves a vaccine. I actually think that some of the news coming out about the fact people probably are immune, the fact that vaccine development, there are promising candidates, right? So the 12 to 18-month time frame is aggressive, but a lot of people who are very smart about this stuff, more than me, seem to buy it. And there are some things about the disease that make a vaccine more developable. And so I guess I'm kind of like, I think I'm more bearish than the average person in the short term, and maybe a little bit more optimistic in the medium to long term. Got it.
Good deal, man. And we're going to start seeing over the next few months poker rooms start to open again. Obviously, the sports world. We'll see what happens with the NFL. I don't know if you guys saw that picture of that poker room in Hialeah Park, Florida, that had the clear walls up over it. I don't know if that's our future, but I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I can't imagine a world where that's practical. Like, I'm sure people will come back because they miss it quickly, but I think that, like, in the short term anyway, live poker is all but dead.
I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Nate? And I know you only have 5 or 10 minutes left. So what are your thoughts on that statement from Burke?
I would not think that live poker would be one of the first things people want to do from like a risk reward standpoint. Although I guess the irony is that, like, if you're playing on a bunch of people who can't evaluate risk and reward, then maybe they're good people to have at your table. Look, I don't know. I would wonder about whether casinos would do something which is, I remember like at the World Series of Poker lobby, right, there are tables where you're sitting down physically at a table, but you're looking at a screen, the cards are virtual, the chips are virtual, right? I wonder if technologies like that, because I don't really think it's going to be a problem to sit, 7 or 8 feet away from people. Maybe you're playing 6 max or 8 max instead of 9 max, which I think would be good anyway, probably, given how slow live poker can be. But having some semi-real, semi-virtual poker in a physical casino might be one solution. I don't know if it's going to be, because poker is not necessarily a profit center. I'm not sure how aggressive place will be about rolling that out. The only counterintuitive optimistic for poker spin I have is that, like, there are going to be a lot of states that that will need to find ways to increase revenue, and there might be sympathetic people having to sit at home. There might be casinos that are saying, hey, look, our business is way down, because even though you can go to the casino, half our customers don't want to, right? So you can imagine a lot of things push for taking online poker back out of the kind of gray area where it has kind of returned from legal to gray area, right? But you can imagine more states saying, you know what, people are gambling anyway, casinos want this, and we need tax revenue desperately because of how bad things are. So you can imagine that being a positive omen for that narrowly important question of what will happen to online poker. Got it.
Love it, man. Well, look, I know that you had a very busy night and you had to squeeze this in. So I want to say thank you for joining us. And you had mentioned that you actually had recently watched some of Berkey's S4Y videos, right? So what timing about that? So what did you recently watch, and did you get anything out of it for those folks who are thinking about subscribing to S4Y?
So the reason I like the videos is, first of all, I think it's like really interesting to hear someone's inner thoughts, basically. But I have found that, like, if you're someone like me who kind of doesn't get to play poker that often, then even though, like, I really kind of understand and appreciate intellectually, like, the very theoretical abstract stuff, just talking about kind of mundane, ordinary hands, right, is like actually really valuable, right? Because if you watch certain poker videos, they'll concentrate on like hands that like are spectacular, famous hands, right? So I would think, I might have a bluff frequency in some very esoteric spot that a player of my skill level might not, right? But I might be like continuation betting way too often on a certain board texture. And so just kind of like, any type of poker training material, S4Y is one. I have a friend, Jonathan Little, who does similar things, right? Where like, you're just seeing like a lot of regular hands. And to me, if you're someone who needs just reps, then talking through a regular hand in detail is actually more valuable than talking about a weird edge case, which might come up once every 5 tournaments that you play. Yeah. But yeah, kind of getting inside people's head, I think, is like is super valuable, right? Because it's very hard to, you see someone's decision, but like to actually kind of replicate their thought process. And you're like, why is that person I know is like a totally intelligent person, right? Why are they making this obviously stupid play, right? Or why are they making a good play that I don't understand? Like that seems like a really innovative way to instruct people. So just kind of having consumed a lot of freeload and a lot of videos for free, I wanted to pay back and come on the show tonight.
I appreciate it. I would rack your brain for hours, but I know you're super busy. So I appreciate the vote of confidence for Poker Out Loud. If you ever want to come play and speak your thoughts, would love to have you once live poker becomes a thing again. But in the meantime, really appreciate you guys. I appreciate you stopping in and kind of giving us a little insight into the real world of how poker is kind of applicable.
Cool. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
No doubt, Nate. Thanks again, man. Great getting to know you the last couple of weeks, and have an awesome night. What a conversation, Bert.
I'm out.
Well, do you know you didn't turn off your hand helper so everybody saw what you had?
I did it on purpose. I wanted him to fold. I got it in with Queens versus Ace King. I flopped the queen, and the run back continues.
At least you ran bad here. Hopefully
Chin,
you don't run bad.
What's your screen name so I can pull you up? Or what table are you at?
My name is Chin I Am.
Of course it is. What table are you at?
I don't know. Table 4.
All right, we got you.
Okay.
That was awesome. What a just intelligent guy. And Burke, I didn't realize his kind of start was in poker. I thought it was more what he did on the baseball side. I didn't realize he was involved in the poker community before that.
Yeah, no, he's old school, man. I would have racked his brain for a long time. I was catching myself like wanting to follow up to every question that we started with, and I'm just like, I'm gonna be here forever if we keep down this path.
We'll take a trip to New York. We'll go see him, and then we're gonna go see our next guest, who will be coming in shortly. So many of you might have seen the Chipping In for COVID charity tournament that was on the Faded Spade Card Club last week or a week and a half ago with Morning Brew, which is kind of like the new age Wall Street Journal.
Wait, is there a delay?
No.
So like, can I? Oh, okay.
It's like 2 seconds.
Okay. Because I was about to say my hand.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
If you turn your hand helper off, Chin, it's in options and table settings. Oh shit, I gotta fold. But Kinsey Grant, the business editor of Morning Brew, and if you guys haven't checked it out, go check it out. It is an unbelievable new age kind of news source. She is our business editor and podcast host, and she'll be coming on to join us pretty soon. I know, Berkey, you loved that entire show. Kinsey was a big reason that the show was successful, and she's willing to come on and hang with us.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions. So before I embarrass myself, Morning Brew is also a publication.
Yeah, so morningbrew.com is really like they have 2 million subscribers.
Okay.
Kinsey will talk through it. And it's like a daily newsletter that comes out, and it's focused on business, and it's focused on business for like the 22 to 38, 40-year-old group.
Okay. Yeah, I think, I did a little research prior. It's really fascinating to me because it really hits that like border. Well, we could just talk to her about it.
Yeah.
Jin, how'd you get all these chips?
Come on, man.
You triple up, I'm out first level. Shocking.
What's up, Kinsey?
Hey, Tom, how's it going?
You got us? Look at you chilling out in the car, calling into
calling y'all from the parking lot. We are at my cousin's graduation dinner right now. So
so were you looking for an escape? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not ungrateful for a little bit.
Well, hey, I want to introduce you to Matt Berkey and Christian Soto, the founders of Solve for Why. And, I know I talked to you a little bit about Matt and his what he does for our industry, how he's also a vlogcaster. And I'll let Matt talk to you a little bit, but he watched what we did on Morning Brew and just had so much praise for your work and what we did during that I thought it'd be really cool to have you on to meet Matt, to chat about Morning Brew so everyone can hear about that in your podcast, Business Casual. And I know Matt's going to want to get to know you a little bit. So thanks for joining us, Kinsey.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me, Matt. It's great to chat.
Yeah, you as well. All right, so I have a lot of questions.
I'm ready. I'm
Okay.
ready.
All right, so first, I think the podcast is fantastic. Which
Thank you.
came first, the actual publication or the pod?
So Morning Brew came first.
Okay.
That has been around for 5 or so years now. And the podcast we launched in September. So we had a great audience, a really engaged audience of, at the time that we launched the podcast, about 1.3, 1.4 million people. Now we're at about 2 million people. But we knew that they wanted more. They wanted to dig a little deeper on some of the more interesting and more thorny, more intricate topics that we were covering in the newsletter that you can't just get in a 5-minute read in the morning. So that's why we launched the podcast, to go a little deeper, answer those questions in a bigger, more meaningful way, and hopefully get some really cool people on to talk about them, which I think so far we've been successful in doing.
Yeah, I mean, I just got exposure to you guys, but I think that it really hits a niche, at least for, I would say, like my demographic, which is kind of strange to say because it's an awkward demographic to target. So I guess I'm curious, like, what your actual audience looks like.
So it's definitely been an evolution when it comes to audience. Our two co-founders started Morning Brew in college, basically as a product for college students who were trying to get jobs in banking, felt like they couldn't really say and be genuine in saying that they were getting through the entire Wall Street Journal or the New York Times. It was dense, it was dry, it just wasn't fun to read. So they launched a product that they thought would be more fun for young people to consume and to talk to their friends about. That was the most important part of our growth. So, you know, that was kind of the impetus of the product as it began. And Genesis was a great news product for young people. As we've kind of aged as a company, I would say that our core audience has aged a little bit as well. Now we tend to hit, I think our core demo right now is like 28, 29. But I have to say, in my experience talking to people in our inbox and talking to readers and listeners, it really, you know, we run the gamut. That's just our average age. I would say we also talk to, you know, high school economics classes and people who are also teaching those classes who are in their 50s and 60s. My parents read it, and they are also in an older age group as well. So we try to do our best to use the kind of verbiage in the newsletter that feels accessible for a young person today, but also jokes that aren't so inaccessible for people who aren't, say, you know, my age in their mid 20s, that they can still understand it. So, you know, and part of that is just that the people who are creating this product are super engaged with the people who are consuming the product. We feel really strongly about going out, understanding the internet, understanding what makes it tick, why people think certain things are funny, and then making jokes about that when we feel super comfortable with it. And I think it's really helped us resonate more with the people who are consuming our products.
Yeah, I think that's super obvious to anybody who's paying attention anyway. And it makes sense to me that that's the demo that you hit on average, because at least speaking from experience, there's no grayer zone in adulthood than like mid 20s to early 30s. It's just like you're at that apex where you have to kind of like, you know, do something with your life, but at the same time, there aren't exactly clear, transparent answers as to what that quote unquote something is. And as we're like more into the technological revolution, it becomes less and less traditional. So I think there's just like a lot of confusion. I always tell people who ask me, like, you know, what's your biggest advice for people in their 20s? It's just like fail. Just fail as much as you possibly can, because that experience is going to help you into your 30s more than anything else.
Yeah, I could not agree more. And I also think that by the same token, a lot of young people today, and when I say young, I mean people in their 20s and 30s, are so inundated with information in so many ways, in so many different arenas, in so many different media of communication. They just don't understand what they should be trying to comprehend better.
Right.
I think that's part of why Morning Brew and Business Casual have succeeded, is because we are doing that curation for people, where I know the rest of the editorial team are going through and reading so much every day to better understand what actually matters. Because at the end of the day, we all have experienced it. There's a you know, oversaturation of headlines, no matter what you're trying to understand, whether that's business news or really any other kind of news. So having a service, I think, that understands the difficulties, and tries to do their best to make it a little easier, it really helps people.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's strictly the addition of the podcast or if it was intentional or not, but you guys almost have a sense of a connection to a lifestyle of sorts. So it's kind of like you extrapolate out on the social media element of targeting people that way. And yeah, I mean, to me, it just comes off really nice in the sense that it would be a source of information that I would go to, but not necessarily as like a dry authority, but more so as like a blend between, parse down information and somewhat entertaining.
Yeah, and I'm glad you say that because I think we recognize the utility that Morning Brew serves. It's not necessarily that we're going to be breaking news or reporting out these long form stories that are going to win Pulitzer Prizes, but we recognize what we're bringing to the table isn't necessarily the breaking news that, say, Bloomberg or the Wall Street Journal brings to the table. We're bringing analysis, we're bringing lifestyle content, we're bringing, recently with everything going on in the world around us, we launched another pop-up newsletter that's solely focused on making recommendations for people's lifestyles during the pandemic. And we knew that there was room for us to do that because people are hungry for lifestyle content that feels relevant, that feels like it could impact their lives in a meaningful way. And we saw that we tried to fill it as best we can. I hope everybody has enjoyed it so far, but it's been really fun to be able to interact with people more on the lifestyle side of things, because obviously the news is important and we want to cover it in as many ways as possible, as creatively as possible. But at the end of the day, people also want to hear fun stuff. They want to see cool links on the internet. They want to laugh at funny jokes that we also found funny.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess this is the last point that I have, and then I'll let these guys have at you. But I noticed that, at least watching the stream that you guys co-hosted with Tom, that a big takeaway of the way that the podcast is curated, the way that you host, the way that you interview and things like that is it allows you to kind of scrape back the surface element of who somebody is, like whether they're an entrepreneur or an economist or an author, whatever the case may be. There's that next layer where, because of the lifestyle element, you can start to target questions that way. And it was really, I couldn't say enough positive things. I was telling Tom, I was like, I was really impressed at the gauntlet of people that were shuttled through and how the questions were just on point each and every time. So like, I guess as a host and, somebody who's running a podcast, how much of that is prep and how much of that is just like you kind of having exposure to all these different industries?
Well, first of all, thank you. I really appreciate that. That's a fantastic compliment. And it means a lot to me. I think it's a mixture of just prep and also being someone who's genuinely curious about the world around them. Obviously I spend several hours before every podcast making sure that I know as much as I possibly can about the person I'm about to speak to. I am a firm believer that the more information you have, the more power you have in a conversation. And part of it is prep, but also part of it is just allowing the conversation to flow naturally. I think a lot of podcasts in the world we exist in today are so heavily scripted that they lose sight of the fact that this should just be a conversation people want to overhear. If I'm curious about it, chances are someone else is also curious about it. So I try to allow my own personal curiosity to drive me just as much as the prep that I have. But to let the two definitely intertwine as much as possible is the best way to go into an interview. I'm thinking about an interview we recently did with Ray Dalio, who's obviously like a huge deal in the finance world, someone who has a lot of power, has a lot of sway beyond just finance and politics and whatever, you name it. He's got influence in it. And I went into it kind of nervous because I'm a 20 something. I don't have any experience in private equity. I don't have any experience in everything he's done in the world. But it was just two people having a conversation, letting it flow naturally, not being afraid to say, hey, let's try this again. Let's do something differently. And just letting it be natural, because people crave that. They don't want something super scripted today. People want transparency. They want someone who's willing to ask the questions that they would want to ask themselves. And I think business casual especially has tried really, really hard to focus on that as much as possible in our I don't know, 6 or 8 months of existence so far.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm looking forward to kind of catching up on past episodes, and you guys are now in my podcast feed, so you got a new fan.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We have a lot of really, really cool ones coming up. Some really great episodes. We recently had one with Mark Cuban, and then we realized let's just get all of the sharks. So we have Barbara Corcoran coming up soon too. But lots of fun stuff on the pipe for us.
Cuban's from my hometown, so I'm a big fan.
Nice.
Love it. So Kinsey, I want to be respectful of your time. You're at a family function. So before we part ways, how is Where's your head at in terms of all this poker stuff you've been involved in the last few weeks?
You know, I feel like I'm ready to become a poker star. It was super fun. You know, Tom, you and I it was a marathon of content, and it was a lot, but I really, truly enjoyed it. And I think that the forum in which we hosted this chipping in for COVID for Morning Brew was fantastic. It feels good to, you know, walk away saying we raised a lot of money for a cause we cared about deeply, but also have a good time doing it. I feel like was really important, and I had fun. I'm ready to do it again. Let's do another chipping in for COVID.
Let's go. We can beat 200K, no doubt.
Yeah.
So, all right.
That's what you guys raised?
Yeah,
That's
over
really
$200,000.
Yeah, it's really great.
Thank you. It was super fun.
I heard it was just Austin going to your CEO, whose name is it's not coming to mind right now, and just saying, "Hey, what about a charity poker tournament?" And then a week and a half later, 2 weeks later, it happened.
Believe it or not, that's how most things happen at Morning Brew. And
Yeah.
someone is just like, you know, this could be kind of fun. And then 2 weeks later, it suddenly happens, which can be stressful. Sometimes we were flying by the seat of our pants, but so far, so good.
There you go. Well, Kinsey, before you roll out back to your family, where can people connect with Morning Brew and connect with you on your Business Casual podcast?
So Morning Brew is everywhere on social media. If you want to subscribe to the newsletter, just go to morningbrew.com. We hit your inbox 7 days a week, and it's all of the most important news from Wall Street to Silicon Valley. The podcast, Business Casual, is available wherever you get your podcasts. We are all over the place on social media as well. And then I am on Twitter at Kinsey Grant.
There you go. Well, the next time we're in New York, I'll shoot you a message. We'll get together for lunch or something. Grab Austin. We were just talking with Nate Silver. Maybe grab Nate and go have some fun.
Let's do it. All right. Thanks so much, you guys. Have a good time.
Thanks, Kinsey.
Bye.
Thanks, Kinsey.
Bye.
All right. So, Chin, you still in this thing?
No breaks, huh? Just straight out, huh? God damn.
Miles.
That's crazy. No breaks.
Yeah, we had to push the tournament back in the beginning. I'm not going to say why. we had to push it back about 10 minutes in the beginning, and unfortunately, what that did is we could only load the registrations we had saved, which was about 360 registrations, not the full 400. So I apologize for some of you guys that got put on late registration and weren't able to get a seat because of the cap. But I don't think this will be the last time we do something like this. And, you know, the first time you do anything, sometimes there are going to be hiccups. Sometimes there are going to be key learnings. We had a couple of those in the beginning, but overall, you know, Berkey, I think the stream was looking great. The tournament's running well, you know, aside from your jack on the turn. I think our guests have been absolutely phenomenal. I hope that you guys watching are getting as much out of it as, you know, we are, because these are folks who have a passion for poker, have a passion for what we're trying to do in terms of building community, and for them to take time out of their days to come chat with us, I think is just pretty awesome, Burke.
Yeah, I would love to do a long form interview with both of them, to be honest. It's so tough to get like a guest that you're interested in for like 10 or 15 minutes. Like Nate specifically was opening some rabbit holes that I would have went way down. Maybe for the good of the show, we didn't have enough time. And then same thing with Kinsey. Like, I think what they're doing at Morning Brew, now transitioning into a podcast, both 538 and Morning Brew interest me tremendously because they're business models that are born off of literally like starting a blog, like something so basic and simple that creates enough whirlwind behind it that you could build an entire business off of that. And like, that fascinates me in a way that I mean, maybe like Nate would be able to speak to it a little bit more than Kinsey because he actually is the founder, but I don't really comprehend how these things come to be. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so engulfed in the tiny poker sphere and like what that community looks like. To me, extrapolating out into you know, real world scenarios just seems so hard.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I think there are very few people in our poker world who have, one, the desire, or two, the know-how, how to build their business or brand or et cetera out of the poker world, or how to connect with other people out of the poker world. Like, I'm fortunate because I came from the business corporate world and started a business in poker because of a passion. So it's easier for me to bounce back and forth.
Do you regret
right?
that?
No, not for one second.
Like, if you could choose any market, you would still choose poker again?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Look, man, but you have to understand. Oh God, I want to call here with 8-7 of hearts just because, but I'm not going to. But you gotta understand, like, I lived that corporate business world for 16, 17 years.
Yeah.
Before I was like, screw this, I want to do my own thing. And your dreams change in life. 10 years ago, the dream was to be a chief marketing officer for one of the big companies I worked at. And now it's like you get to a certain point in your career and you realize, why do I want to climb that corporate ladder and fight for that brass ring when it gets so political and it isn't what it seems? The
Right.
higher and higher you get, you make more money. Yeah, dude, I was making like $200K a year in the corporate world and not even working that hard as a vice president. But it was like, there was no passion. There was no purpose, never seeing your family, all that type of shit.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate to lose my job. And that gave me, I was listening to Gary Vaynerchuk, man, and that gave me the push to start this.
Yeah.
And I have never been happier with family balance, business life, acquaintances, friendships, you name it.
Hit the showers.
So, I mean,
Whoa, steel wheel, GG.
Steel wheel. So does that make sense, Burke?
No, 100%. I only push back a little bit because the poker community is so small. And I've seen a bit of the ire of it, if you will. So I love poker to death. I'll always be involved in some capacity. But there is a part of me that like yearns for something much, much bigger where I feel like I'm attributing something to the world. And I don't think that I'm wasting time, energy, or resources doing what I'm doing, but I'm anxious to get it to scale.
Yeah.
So like that would be like what I would want to like really rack like Nate and Kinsey's brains about, and other founders and entrepreneurs in other realms, is like that process of getting to scale can be so slow and painful. Like, how do you actually go about tackling different segments of the market?
Dude, we'll take a trip to New York and we'll go meet with all these people.
Sure.
And we'll just talk through it. Cause like the truth is this, Berkey, like, think about this. You've taken Solve for Why and you've grown it with Christian and your team to where it is now. You probably never thought it'd be where it is now. Right. And now all of a sudden this happens and you're having to adjust. Ace Queen versus Jack 9 and Jack hits, I'm out. Showers. So, then all of a sudden you have all this momentum and your business grows and it's a real business and you've survived the 3 years and now this hits, right? And it affects everybody. Look, bro, I've lost over 150 grand of just B2B business this year.
Yeah.
We're not getting back.
Right.
For a small business, that can kill you. That's why we adapted it to the card club for a number of other reasons too. And there could be a situation where I keep Faded Spade going because of the situation and have to go back to the corporate world and balance both. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit different for us because I've been there, can go back. For you, it'd be like, how do we get you into it?
Yeah.
Right. And then how do you grow from there? And trust me, getting to know you the way I have, no doubt in my mind, whether it's business ownership or corporate world out of the poker industry, you'd be successful in whatever you try.
Well, I can hands down say I don't want to get involved in corporate unless it's my corporation.
Yeah. Right. And
Chin, shout him out on stream, man.
Let's go, bro.
This guy's playing with you. He wants you to say hi.
All right. I didn't want to shout him out because it's big. This is a family show. But my man, Big Fucking Blue out there.
I mean, you could have said effing.
We're good, man.
What's up, bro? Good luck. I'm locked in, man. I'm trying to win.
Dude, when we were, I'll share this with everybody. We were having the planning meetings for this, and Berkey's like, look, none of us are going to win. We're going to give out all the, and Christian's like, fuck that. I'm taking this thing down.
I should have had his table up the whole time to see how good he was running.
Running. Good, he's running.
I'm just saying, man. I don't.
You're lucky I'm not. You're lucky I can't tell my hands.
Oh man. So, damn it, I had a follow-up question to what you were saying. Oh, what are your plans and vision? I know we kind of talked about this, and I'm putting you on the spot a little because
fine,
I already
dude.
know the answer to some degree.
Well,
But,
you know,
like,
I'm not going to promote my shit without being asked a question.
Yeah, of course. So what is the intention with this platform moving forward? By the way, that Pittsburgh skyline, nice touch.
Yeah.
Very nice touch.
Next time we're putting Dominican Republic up there.
Where's the flag, baby? Where's
All
the
we're gonna
flag?
see is a sandy beach. This is gonna be the ocean rolling into the shore.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, that
the
is kind
flag.
of nice.
You know what, brother? Like, the intention with Faded Spade when I started it was to disrupt the card industry, to start with poker rooms and to become like the poker card brand and company for like our age, our modern industry, modern players, etc. That's happening. And then we wanted to get into poker rooms, and we felt like if we did that, then obviously profitability would rise. We'd get more credibility. And we felt like we could disrupt and take over some of the top 2 or 3 brands. It's slowly happening.
Yep.
The goal is then like, okay, well, like it's cards, right? Cool. Well, then how do we change the product and do all the casino cards? And it's like, that's what the goal was, because that's a like $100 million market, right? But you know, we've been talking about this for like a year, man. It's like, you know, we want to be more than just a card company. And we had this card club idea for quite some time, like 4 or 5 months, and we were working on it. And it was just to build community at first. And then it was like, wait a minute, when all this happened, we put it out there to build community. And we were like, there is a real need or want or desire, however you want to say it, from the average recreational poker player like me, you know, my core. It's only been recently where I've started playing like bigger tournaments because of S4Y training. But, you know, that's the real poker group, the guys that get together in the neighborhood. And over 300-something thousand people use these home game platforms online just on one of the more popular sites.
Yeah.
And we said, you know what? We can build one. We can create that community. We let everybody play for free. And then all we're going to do is something that no one else really does. We're going to personalize the tables, have people pick their games to match what they do during their home games or in their leagues to make it feel like their own. And we'll charge $19.99 a month for a subscription for people to do that. In 3 weeks, we had over 2,000 accounts, over 110 subscriptions, and a ton of great feedback. And I think we can scale that to 100,000 accounts and 5,000 subscriptions, or et cetera, over the next, 12 to 18 months. So I really think there's a chance for this to kind of redefine the business that we're in. So yeah, we're a card company. Yeah, we're an online social play poker platform, which can evolve. And the sky's really the limit. We're just getting started. So that's where I think we're going to take this. We're going to continue to dive in the digital realm. And like you said, eventually, whether it's Faded Spade or a spinoff of Faded Spade, how do we get other products into other industries, thinking about fantasy sports, right?
Yep.
And others. And I really think there's potential to do that.
Well, I said I think that's
betting.
how this platform transforms. Is it becomes a fantasy realm. If you can, like, basically, I think back to like my college days when fantasy football first became a thing.
Yep.
There was a site called smallwood.com. Nobody probably remembers it, but it was very innovative because it was at that time what we know to be current day daily fantasy sports.
Yeah.
So instead of drafting teams, you were given a budget, and each week the cost per player would rise and fall like stock. And it was fascinating to me compared to a normal rotisserie league. So it's all about just like being ahead of the game. Right now, there is no fantasy poker, obviously, but being able to create up leagues where you could potentially give that feel, even if it means just adding layers of data collection or whatever. But I think that there's a play here. I think that finding an alignment with a current operator who doesn't have this feature available and being able to offer that service without them having to construct it themselves is obviously a huge value add. I think that there are a lot of people just trapped at home looking to play poker, even if it's recreationally against their friends. And giving them that sort of option there's a path there. It's hard. It's hard
Yeah.
because it's difficult to demonstrate like why they should pay. But
of course.
I think it's literally just about like getting it out there enough until you can make a play with a site partnership or whatever the case may be.
Oh, 100%. You know, and I want to call out the chat. I know there were some folks disappointed they didn't get to register because we had to push the start of the tournament back about 10 minutes. So, you know, that was a decision we made just for a few reasons.
It was my fault. I was late. I messed a lot of things up. I apologize.
It's all good. It's all good. So our apologies to those people who may have been registered, and when we pushed the tournament back and had to load the registrations again, if your registrations didn't get loaded, our apologies. But don't worry, we will be doing this again, and it had to be a first come first serve for this part. But
so let me get this right, because I think people were confused. There was no like wait list, right? Like it was a hard cap at 495.
Well, it was a hard cap at 405.
Or 405.
Yeah, 405. And then when we had to push it back, it only loaded the registrations that we last saved.
No, I know, but like
capped the tournament at 360.
Oh, okay, right. But
Yeah,
if there was
so-
like 500, when people busted, they weren't gonna be able to enter in.
Right. It was
Okay.
basically, it was 405 when we pushed it back and lowered the registrations. It was 360 and capped at that. And then everybody else was put into a wait list that we don't have any control over anymore right now
Gotcha.
to put them in. So that's okay. You know, it's going to happen. First time you do things like this, those things might happen. And for those 40 folks that didn't get their seat, we will make sure we do this again.
How many people are left in this thing?
So let's see here. So you go to tournaments, you go to players.
$136, is that right?
Yep.
136 left.
third
Let's
of
see
the
where
field is
Chin's
down.
at in the rankings. Not
I don't,
first.
I don't want to know.
Well, you're gonna know. I'm gonna tell you. You got some chippies, man.
They're in trouble.
Oh man, Corgasm got some chips though. Corgasm 28th in chips with 28K. Chin I am 24th in chips. Chin is Dank just above him, 23rd in chips. But let's check out the top 5, shall we? Buckley Rules, chip leading with 71,000. Chin for days. Sorry, Chins for days. Man, there are a lot of Chin imposters out there. He's
I
second
know.
in chips with 58K.
People like me, Berkey.
Fiddler OTG, shout out, 3rd in chips. Tally Banks, 4th. Ace Ragman, 5th. Ace Blush, 6th. I wonder if either of those are Lily's kid. VIR 2L Vanquish, 7th. Saluve 123, 8th. Hilton Magic, 9th. And Check Engine rounding out the top 10 in 10th. I want to take a minute to thank everybody for partaking in this and apologize to anybody who did get shut out. As Tom said, we're going to do this again. You know, in some part, this was kind of a test to see, it was a bit of a stress test to see what the system could handle. And, you know, Lord willing, we're going to try to push that number a little bit further to the brink down the line.
Yeah.
Maybe see if we can break this son of a bitch.
Let's do it. I mean, I'm glad the system worked well, right? I mean,
Yeah.
things worked really well. Again,
Better than
I just,
ACR.
yeah. Tournament is on break. That means we've reached the hour mark. But I appreciate you saying that, Matt. And again, you know, the first time you do some of these things, there are going to be some things we wish we did a little bit differently. But for the most part, everything's running well. And there are going to be some people that win some badass giveaways, including a free homeschool seat to the winner of this thing, right?
Yeah. I'm excited to run it again. Well, I say that with a grain of salt because I finally get a summer to myself for the first time in 15 years, where I'm not obligated to the World Series of Poker, and that's nice. But what I would do with that summer is go places, and nothing's open. So I was kind of hesitant to run it again so soon, but it just seems like we're going to be really slow to getting back to normalcy. and
Yeah.
there was higher demand than I would have ever imagined.
Both of us.
Yeah,
We thought maybe a couple hundred.
yeah. What up, Hish? I forgot to tell you guys, Hish is coming in.
Yeah, I mean, we were planning for a couple hundred, and then even we originally had like 400 seats open. There were like 540 accounts.
Yeah.
So what we could do next time too is we could just put 2 different tournaments out there, and make sure we've got enough scale for everybody, no matter what.
What's up, big guy?
Hey, Matt. Hey, Chin.
What up, Hish?
Of
We
course,
haven't met yet. What's up, man?
I'm not even surprised that Chin's eating right now.
Wow. It's messed
Watching
up,
you,
bro.
Chin.
Let's go.
Tom, good to meet you, man.
What up, Hish? Good to meet you too, man. Chin's eating souls in this thing, man. He's just
You
crushing.
think? He's a pro.
Your hair is a mess, man.
Mine are Chin's.
Yours.
Dude.
And you're skinny.
Yeah, I've always been skinny.
Sorry, I'm treating this guy like as if I'm just disrespecting him because he's friends. But like Hish needs an introduction, a proper one. So I'm not gonna attempt to butcher your last name. You can do that for me. But I got to meet him. What's it been? About 18 months, give or
It's been a
take.
while.
Came to the academy. Knew nothing about him prior, other than he was a Silicon Valley whale. Who's a big poker fan. But I got to know him really well throughout the 3 days that he was here, and then moving on into it. I'm joking a little bit, but you are a very young, and I don't want to butcher this title, but you're VP of Finance. Is that correct?
EVP.
I'm sorry.
Ooh,
Yeah.
What was
ooh,
that?
baby.
Of
Sorry.
what?
Sorry, Executive Vice President.
Oh.
Oh, hey.
My bad.
Hey,
My
hey,
bad.
hey.
Don't make me feel bad.
Right, so he has letters after his name, which are very important, clarifying his credentials. And he's a young man. He's a few months younger than I am, which, I may be old for poker, but in the business world, I'm quite young. So I wanted to have you on because, I haven't seen you in a while, first of all. And I know you're a huge poker advocate. But I also think that, you can give us a little bit, you can steer the conversation a little bit more into what's going on right now in this whole crisis from the financial side of things.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. And so just for everybody, I'm big into digital banking. That's how I've made my career the last 12 or 13 years, just everything with mobile and online banking, really just taking what's physical and making it digital. And I caught the first 5 minutes when I walked into my house. And what I'd say here is I think it's just for an opportunity, Tom, with what you're doing, Matt, where you guys have always been with the TV channel. I love what you did with the last Digital Academy, just bringing everything to the virtual realm. And that's what's going to bring people together. Because if we rewind the tape, 8 or 9 years ago, when everyone was playing online, that was the heyday. And then, people for summer stopped playing online for the most part, right? And so I think now you've got this inverse effect of, how do we figure out how to get people together? I think Tom's bang on with, people like rec players like myself, we just want to unwind with our friends, right? On Friday night, everyone's playing home games. This is what we do. And it brings us back to when we started playing poker in college. When I was playing cards with Turner in college, those were the best times ever, right? And then, and so hopefully, there is an awakening and a resurgence of everything going back online. That's my hope.
I have a totally different vantage point there.
Okay, tell me.
Not even from a hope or wish standpoint, but just from the way I view, I guess, the practicality of online poker. Something very, very drastic has to occur, different from what we see in rest of world, in order for online to both return and resurge. As it is, the landscape is just way, way, way too easily cannibalized. And the, let's call it fun money, just isn't nearly protected enough. So as technology continues to get better, the money not utilizing the tech is drying up faster and faster. So to give you a parallel that you could probably relate to a little bit, and also I've just been engulfed watching Billions for the last like 3 weeks.
Yeah, no, I've been following your Twitter feed.
Yeah, so like I'm just obsessed with the strategy that goes into big finance anyway. But the parallel is that when you start talking about these major hedge funds who are moving billions of dollars, it's really just an arms race for who has the best information and who can acquire it the fastest.
Yeah.
Online poker is the exact same, with real-time solvers, with HUDs, with this just the ability to parse information almost instantaneously now. People who aren't utilizing that are drawing stone dead, and people who are utilizing it but maybe not as well as the best of the best are just merely hanging on until they get swallowed up. So it's kind of like what we saw happen with high frequency day trading, where eventually just AI overtook it all.
Sure.
And it's impossible for somebody, or improbable, I guess.
And I guess what I'd say there is like my hopes and dreams are at such a macro level where it's like, hey, I wish everybody could play online poker together on Friday nights. That's one.
Yeah.
But then two, like your point is, it does have to become regulated, because there is no point at all if someone's got that much of an advantage to a rec player. I would never play in those games. It's why when I've been invited to all of those poker clubs, it's like I wouldn't put 10 cents on there.
Right.
And it's just you are drawing down on those things. So, the question is, how do you build it in a way that it is regulated, like across industry? And it's my same gripe with cryptocurrency. And I'll go on for days on this, right? Like I would never put 10 cents into crypto, right? Because it's fully unregulated. You don't know what's happening. But until then, like it's just never going to become mainstream.
Yeah. Crypto, I think, is a different topic that I'd rather not argue. I'm just more versed in poker, so I don't want to debate the intricacies of crypto. But I think to your point, what's most critical is full-blown transparency. So regulation is what it is. It's a means to an end to acquire that transparency. But the transparency is really what's necessary. So, there's an element, and I think WSOP does a great job of this. And I also think it's kind of a byproduct of Nevada regulation. So maybe we should credit Nevada gaming as much, if not more so. You're not able to access your hand histories outside of a replayer on the site.
Yeah, that's right.
And if you do want those hand histories, you have to wait 30 days in order to get them mailed to you. So this is all very critical because it really curbs the ability for people to just have basically a face-up view of what their opponents are doing.
I agree.
And that layer of protection is incredibly necessary if we are going to continue to tout this game as a social game, as a recreational game, which it needs to be in order to thrive, right? So there's just no layer of online poker where it's going to be kind of like, I think in my mind of like BattleBots. Do you remember that show by chance?
Oh my God, yes.
That show was good.
You guys remember what I'm talking about, right?
This is going to be the clip tomorrow when we talk about BattleBots.
But that's what for sure high stakes online poker has turned into, where it's literally just a human at the control, and the AI or the robotics or however you want to equate it is what's ultimately doing the competing. So now it's just a matter of like how much human error is there at the helm, and it gets reduced day after day after day. The margin of error gets lower and lower, and now we're just talking about latency periods as far as acquiring the information and things like that. So I do think that if this ever becomes widespread again, two things have to happen. We need to have that layer of protection that greatly reduces the ability for the bad actors or even just the opportunists. It curbs their ability to do so. And then secondarily, we absolutely have to be segregated from house edge games. And I think that that's been a big hang-up thus far, is that a lot of the casinos are lobbying against poker because they want to push online house games. But you'll never hear these words come out of my mouth again, but I'm with Sheldon Adelson when it comes to the anti-digital version of casinos. We should all be with him in that camp, because when you take a negative edge game, something as simple as blackjack or roulette or whatever the case may be, when you take a negative edge game like that, let's say slots, which I think it's like -3% to the house. In real life, it takes a lot of time to put in the volume necessary to go broke at -3%.
Mm-hmm.
online at scale, it won't take much time at all.
Yeah.
And we're literally just like creating a minefield for casino owners to just rake people over the coals.
Yeah, I don't think there's any people have to separate, right? From poker from everything else. Like
Right.
that has to be the starting point. Otherwise, it's always going to be grouped into a game of chance.
Right.
Yeah, and I totally agree there. And just, I mean, that was part of my issue way back in the day. I mean, I would have friends in college who would write a script to play blackjack with some edge and wake up the next morning and hope to have won $25 by
Right.
playing, like 1,000 hands at
Yeah.
25 cents a hand.
Yeah,
know?
right.
Yeah, or whatever the case may be.
So
We had this talk.
what's going on in the Valley? What's it look like? I know San Fran was like super fast to react to COVID.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's so interesting, right? So definitely fast to act. I think part of that was definitely due to the AIDS pandemic in the 80s, right? Like San Francisco's seen this story before. We've got a very liberal, but like when it comes to the general population health, we're super conservative about just looking after everyone. It's been weird walking around. I try to get outside 3, maybe 4 days a week just to walk for 60 to 90 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Businesses are boarded up. There are not a lot of people outside. People just the last weekend or two started, I would hate to say they're not social distancing, but it's like it's on the fringe, right?
Right.
But in terms of like the economic outlook, like my take is from a VC standpoint, I think a lot of funds are going to dry up. You've seen a lot of the big name companies like Airbnb and Uber. I don't know if Lyft, but they've announced layoffs. And so now, the tides are turning a little bit, right? Like, Uber's trying to, I think, raise, was it 750 million, I think, in notes. They're looking to acquire, right? So you're going to start seeing a ton of partnerships come out of this, right? And it's just an interesting time. I don't think we've seen a cycle like this before because it's not like you've seen a bust. It's not like that, but it's now forcing companies into like definitely growth, but also revenue.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess to that end, how much do you think that this is going to impact like the tech industry as a whole? I mean, obviously all industries are going to be impacted, but like when you start to say that like places like Lyft start to lay off, the next leap is Uber, right? This is a $1 billion company that's been operating in the red.
But like, yeah, and again, but Uber's different because they're global and they're in so many different businesses where Lyft is like, hey, we were focused the entire time.
Yeah.
Right. And they just focused on a better experience in my mind. And again, there are so many nuances between the product, but what do I think happens? I think overall for tech, it's a good thing, right? I mean, the simple math should be COVID, less physical, the world, more digital, right? And like more digital is tech. And so if you look at Amazon, like the report today is Jeff Bezos is going to become a trillionaire. Is that like yeah, right? And so, people are shopping more, right? Like when I go down in my building lobby, the FedEx and UPS guys are there. There's more packages than Christmas right now because people are just not going out more. They're just ordering more. So I think for e-commerce, like this is where companies really have to wake up and figure out how do you make the shopping and buying experience so seamless, because this is where you're going to gain the customer advantage right now. Like, how are you solving customer problems in a pandemic so you're on the first step when we get out of the pandemic?
That makes sense. Tell me, I guess, if this resonates along those lines at all with you. So the way I see it is a lot of markets will cleanse themselves of, I guess, like inflation of sorts, or maybe, I don't want to say bad actors, but maybe just people who have kind of like greased their way through, right? So the way I kind of view it, and I imagine tech will be impacted by this more than almost anything else, is that because there's been such a long duration of good times or of prosperity, we see more and more bad ideas getting funding, more and more good ideas getting overinflated, basically like throwing a lot of good money after bad in a lot of these scenarios. How much do you think like this pandemic begins to cleanse the industry and make it a lot more competitive, where now it's an actual arms race for the best of the best rather than the next sell-off?
So I think, yeah, so I do think that's going to happen. I think you're going to see some right sizing and balance. Absolutely. Because when there's a shortage of money, the good times run up. The problem I think that's going to start to surface is this becomes like the network and the who's who and who's in the boys club of like getting in with VC. So I still think bad ideas are going to get through just based on relationships and networks. And I think, there are going to be a lot of people suffering. It's no different in small business that their ideas get stolen or tampered with, right? Like in the process here, because funding is going to be limited, in order to navigate like with the right VCs who can cut a big check, like you have to know where to go. You can't just show up there on the doorstep and say, I've got an idea.
Right.
And so there are only certain people who can get you in those doors. And so I do think people will get taken advantage of, which is the unfortunate situation. So it's like the access to liquidity, like they need to figure out how to make that more open, right? And more transparent.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's an opportunity for someone. It's like, GitHub is a great idea. You just put your code out there for people to look at. I'm not saying that's a solve, but it's just more of the, like, it's an open platform and, we'll fund you based on that. And so it's not behind closed doors.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I guess like, that's always going to be the case.
Yeah.
In some regard, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit optimistic, I guess, in that regard. Where
I would like to think here. I get your point at a high enough level. It's bad ideas shouldn't get funded because there's limited money, and the better ideas can get through. Like you just have to like shorten the pool a little bit.
Right.
Like I get what you're saying, and I do hope that happens because it's just like, I mean, people getting angel or seed money at $500,000 or $1 million, like it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. And these are just like, these are absurd ideas.
Yeah. Right.
Chin, they're getting those checks.
You need to find us $1 million.
Okay, Chin. There it is. There it is. Get that check.
Yeah. Why don't you get Chin to talk? This kid's been dead silent. He's a silent assassin over there, just trying to win this tournament.
I've missed Chin more than he knows. Like he is. So I want to tell the story, right? About, I think, hold on, like enough about me. I want to tell the Solve for Why story because I think it's so important with how we met, right? And so for everybody, watching, John Turner is, who taught me poker, Pearl Jammer. And he'd been more or less coaching me for, I want to say 10 years. And it just got to the point where, I was moving to California from Toronto. And I'd asked John, like, hey, I need something a little bit more here. I mean, this is a guy who would just give me hours of time at zero cost because we're buddies. And he goes, I think you need to take Matt Berkey's Solve for Why course. Like, you'd like it. And it was just one of those things, right? I remember, Matt, when I told you this, you were like, oh, really? Like, he said that? I'm like, yeah. Like, he was actually like, yes, you should go do this.
Yeah.
And there were two elements to it, right? He knew I was going to love, like, the part about, getting commentary on video, but also the instruction that you got.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Called.
Oh, okay.
We got to make this about him for a minute, okay?
He's been so silent, though. I mean,
Hish is just sitting here selling our product for us, but Chin is all in and called by the chip leader.
On a free roll.
Oh, no! He up flops and he's got a hold. Wow, big double. Very unlucky for OMC.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Let's go.
So anyways, like, I take the class, and again, I just thought it was so, I remember like within the first 10 or 15 minutes, like you're talking about chaos theory, and I texted my dad and I'm like, you're never going to believe what these guys are talking about here. And he's got 3 PhDs. So he's like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, like they opened with chaos theory in the first 15 minutes. So I just, I took so much more away, like poker, yes, but so much more from a business aspect. And, for those people who are watching, Matt's spoken to my team, I think twice, and has just done like a marvelous job, like great public speaker. The Solve for Why product is so much more than what you're seeing here. It's a network of people, it's a brain trust. And, it really enjoy and think the world of you guys.
I'm flattered. And Conrad, if you're watching, go ahead and clip that. Let's get that.
Hey, Conrad. Yeah, and also just like I think you've got a lot of respect. I mean, John is a very reputable person in the poker world, and when he's telling me you should do this, he's not telling me to go punt money. He's like, no, I think you're going to get value out of this because I've taught you everything I can teach you.
Yeah.
You know what? I got to agree with that, Hish. I mean, I was a recreational 2-5 player for a long time, profitable. But then when I started this business and started getting into like bigger tournaments for exposure, right, of the brand and to play in tournaments I've never played against the toughest competitors in the world, plus still playing 2-5, like I wouldn't have had any of the success I have had the last 18 months without Solve for Why, period. Like I thought I was decent, and then I learned how bad I was. And then it was like, the more and more I learned from Chin and Berkey and Hunt and everybody else, the more I realized I had to learn, and the better and better my game got over time. And there is no way that I would have cashed in any of these big tournaments, or no way that my hourly rate would have increased about 40% on cash games if I didn't actually take the studying with Solve for Why seriously. And I'm not saying that to plug them. I'm saying that because that's just real shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel what you're saying. And it's the truth. And you can't fake that shit. That's just authentic stuff. And if you make the investment to learn through Solve for Why, you're going to get it back tenfold, period.
Yeah. And here, really quick on your product. One, it's awesome. I've enjoyed, I've played on Friday Night Poker a few times, and like the cards are just like, they're awesome.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're lucky, man. Like, actually, Berkey, tell that story. You were playing on Poker After Dark, like one of the first few times they were using Faded Spade RFID cards.
Yeah.
And you just hit us up via message, and that's how you and I met.
Yeah, well, I mean, the big thing was that, at that point, we obviously were operating with RFID cards for our own use for the academy. And we were, to be quite frank, dissatisfied. We were using a lot of the standard stock cards. Live at the Bike used them for a while. Basically just the ones that come recommended through the Poker Tracker software. And it was just like, they broke all the time. So like, seeing a new competitor in the industry, like having a good feel to it, they looked nice. They were easily customizable. Just being able to hit Tom up because he's accessible. Like, all of that's nice, right? Having somebody in the States that is not a week of shipping away and able to get like proper, I guess, like client consumer relations, it was a huge change. And it was nice that you guys, or I always say you guys as if like you're not a single entity. But I mean, you have a team.
I've got a couple independent contractors. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was nice to see like, a little bit of disruption taking place where we moved away from things that weren't functionally well. And this happened at the World Series a few years back where they switched off of Copeg to something else I can't recall. And the cards were just so bad. And it was all the buzz. That's not what you want when you're running a big festival like that, is for people to just like for 35 days bash a card brand.
Bro, that was that was my like, okay, I got to do this now. If I'm going to do this, I got to do it now. And that was a big part of the talk with World Poker Tour.
Right. Well, because cards are supposed to be like dealers, right? Like, they're like umpires. They're seen and not heard. And you know that they're doing a great job when no one talks about them. Yeah.
And the only reason I started with cards is because it was a passion of mine, being an old home game player, and like, you have to use them.
Yeah.
Like you have to use them. It's not like a product that people might want.
Right.
It's a product people need. So the first question of, do I need this product? The answer is yes. Then the next question, which is a huge, for any small business owner out there, like if you have a product that the answer to do I need this product is yes, then that's a good start.
Right.
And then the next question is, okay, if I need this product, then what are my choices and who do I pick?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then that's when product quality comes into play, and brand favor and credibility and all that type of shit. Right.
Yeah.
And if you think back to the first conversation we had, and the first time I met you, Chin, too, you were playing in the big game.
Yeah.
You stepped out. We talked for 15 minutes. And if you would have thought, if you think back to that time of where you were with Solve for Why, and where I was with Faded Spade and where we both are now,
Yeah.
think about that for a minute.
We're legends.
It's weird.
Not legends, but
I
we're
talk about
not.
this all the
We're
time.
not dead. Like
Yeah,
we're not.
yeah, that's
we're-
true.
We could have folded. Like we actually made that 3-year.
Well, especially
hurdle.
because
Do
like
we-
that whole conversation was just wrapped around like the
Wrestling?
poker industry isn't doing enough to
Are you
monetize
talking about
itself.
wrestling?
No.
It largely was in some way about wrestling.
But
Tom, I'm actually proud of you. Walked into the big game. I did that once on my.
no, I didn't play. I was
No,
playing
no, no,
2-5. And he came
I-
out.
I walked in there to see Matt with a big birthday cake, and JRB just stared at me.
Hish has no couth.
I got moved.
I was coming to
Got
see my
moved.
boy. I was coming to see you, Matt, and then I dropped the cake on the way out, and Paul was really upset. I felt bad, like, but it was outside of. But it was a huge. It was my birthday, man. It was a cake.
I get it. Honestly,
then-
that was something I never ever was able to handle very well. Like, it was normal for people to like want to pop in, say hi, and that's not, it's fine. It's completely fine. But I always felt like I didn't belong in that room to begin with. So when people, not based on like skill or anything like that, it's just like, I'm surrounded by people who are worth hundreds of millions or billions of dollars all the time. Yeah, whatever. But like, I know that I'm kind of like an unwelcome guest because I'm just supposed to be there, facilitate action, whatever. And it's like when people would pop in, I'd always just be like freaking out, like, okay, all right, bye, get out of here.
That's about what your reaction was with me carrying a cake, though.
Yeah, the cake was just like over the top, obviously.
I was busy playing him. We just met up during like when he took 15 minutes. But like, yeah, I don't mean Berkey that like we've just come a long way. Like we have
No, I know.
so far to go.
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, in 2.5, 3 years, man, like both businesses have come a long way. And you know what? Both businesses don't come a long way unless we have the support of the poker community and the poker fans and the poker players. Like that's a fact.
So
Period.
Tom, here's a question. Like, how can the average player support you? Is it just buying a deck of cards? Like, what do you think the rec players should be doing to support your business?
Yeah. Like our B2B business obviously is our biggest bread and butter right now. It's like a 6-figure business. Obviously we take a huge hit this year, but our consumer sales are strong, man. We got customers all over the world, and like they can order a 2-deck set of Faded Spade cards on fadedspade.com. The new card club that we put out was just a way to expand the brand. Everyone can play for free if they just want to play for free on public tables.
Yeah.
But like for those that actually, I don't want to take people's money for just playing for free like some other sites do. Like have fun, have fun recreationally. But then for those that want like a custom table like you're seeing here, right? Like the S4Y TV table with their own custom blinds and their own level durations and shit like that. Like that, and their own name and stuff with a private password to invite their friends, then yeah, like we'll ask for like $20 subscription because there's resource work and system work and et cetera. But it goes back to what you said in the beginning. So many of us recreational players, they want to feel like something's their own. And when they have their friends over for a game, it's theirs. They're the host, right? And that's what we're seeing happening. Like so many people just want a table with their home game name on it or a graphic to invite their friends and come play. And it's like, that is pretty damn cool. And I think that is what really makes up the entire poker community, not all of us who are like in it from a business standpoint or player standpoint.
Yeah, no, and I agree. And you guys did some work with Run It Up too, right?
Dude, it was so funny. Like we were going to be developing 4-color cards because our customers were asking for it. And it fits the demographic of our customers. And I was introduced to Somerville, and my first talk with him, he goes, look, and Berkey, by the way, I'm playing on your table with a bunch of people just having some fun on the ring games.
Oh, nice.
If you want to jump in. But he
Wait,
said,
can I do both or no?
Yeah, jump in both, man.
All right, cool.
But yeah, so Fish, so my first talk with him, he's like, dude, I've been trying to create 4-color cards for 3 years and no other card company is working with me. I was like, all right, let's do it. He goes, if you create Run It Up 4-color cards when you do your production, I'll pay for them and I'll use them at Run It Up Reno and I'll endorse you guys.
I was gonna say we played with those on the stream, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Right? Okay.
So he put out 4-color cards in all the mixed games and on the RFID table.
Yeah.
And that's how we developed the relationship. And that's how I met Andre. Berkey.
Right, I busted Moneymaker in one of those mixed game tournaments. That's right.
I busted Moneymaker from the tournament, and he just fell to the floor because I called an ace on the river on him. I just looked at him. He like falls on the floor all dramatic, and I'm like, "Come on, dude. Have you never caught an ace on the river against somebody? Like, come on." But yeah, so that's the story, Hish. Thanks for asking, man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like I said, I love the product. I'm not just saying that. Like, I think it's, I mean, just the feel of the cards, the way they look, and to me, it's the evolution of a product where you still have the four suit design, but you've just taken it to the next evolution of what playing cards should look like. To Matt's point, everybody. So it's great.
I think it's cool how Berkey, how you've like, even like right now with everything going on and everything we probably think is going to happen over the next year, Berkey, you and Christian have pivoted your business like that. We've pivoted our business, but you have, I mean, and we've pivoted our business like that because I think we're built like that. But look what you did with your academy. Like, what a smart idea. Think about this for a minute. You guys knew you couldn't have your S4Y Academy anymore in person, which was a big revenue generator for you guys, a big part of your business.
Yep.
And then it's like, oh shit, we can't do that anymore. So what do? You develop S4Y Homeschool, where you basically have an elongated academy with a core audience that you can pay more attention to online. The name is great because so many damn people are homeschooling their kids like me right now.
Right.
And there's no freaking surprise. It was such a success the first time. And now you've got another one coming up. I mean, that takes intelligence. That takes, overcoming fear because it could have failed. And you pivoted.
You mean it takes
so tell people,
Tom.
But great things come out of desperation, bro.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So tell people about homeschool and what that means to you guys right now.
So, all right. So your point is very valid. Obviously, we lose probably 66% of our revenue the second we can't run academies any longer. That's a massive part of our business strategy. But more importantly, like, it's a big part of the market that we're serving. It's just not really rivaled. So we did obviously have to pivot. And our first pivot was just to scale way back. And that's why we are now $9.99 a month for the online site. It's why we went from daily release to weekly release. This is all temporary, of course. Eventually we're going to get back to full scale, but it's necessary. I think personally, like when these crises occur, it's an opportunity to test, right? Because you're kind of mentioning the things that we had to overcome, but I kind of disagree in the sense that, like, there's nothing to be afraid of because the inevitable is that if you don't adapt, you fail. So it's just like throw some shit against the wall and see what sticks. And I was kind of surprised at the overwhelming support of homeschool the first time. I felt like we were running a risk of being insensitive to the economic crisis that was kind of being presented by offering a high price course, but we had 92 signups, which is just, like, to me, remarkable. And the idea of running a college style curriculum interests me a lot. Good luck, Chin.
All right, Chin.
Need help?
Yes.
Oh!
Chin, what table are you on, man?
Hit the showers, creature.
Oh, no.
Dude, are we going to be commentating on Chin's play on the final table? What's going on, man? 52 people out of 360 left. Next time, guys, we will make sure we have more seats open. But Chin, holy shit.
Let's go.
What table are you, bro?
Very unfortunate for our man Cliff Booth. Chin, quite
I guess
rude
I could just look you up.
in his exit. But yeah, so I didn't think we were gonna have much demand.
Get there, yes. Boom.
This kid, Mark Rumbaugh, GG.
Hit the showers.
I'm so sorry about your luck. So yeah, we decided we ran a survey the first time and we got a resounding response saying that people wanted to do this. But we also kind of knew that because we had to cancel 2 academies. So it was like 36 people who were just like waiting in the chambers to do something. And a lot of them were quick to hop in. And then we did the same thing after running it the first time. We ran the survey again, like how many of you are interested in a 4-week-long course? You know, do you have the time for this? Do you have the commitment for this? Would you pay for this? All that kind of stuff. And we got over, like, I think we got like 70 responses and only 2 people said they wouldn't do it. So it's just like, and that means that not everybody's clicking the survey either, right? So it's like, of the people willing to take the survey, they all want to participate. So it's like, okay, let's just run it again. It does come at the cost of me not being able to leave Vegas during June, which is something I was greatly looking forward to doing. But I also have to remember that live poker is not coming back anytime soon. So like now all of a sudden July and August are also wide open.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, man.
Yeah, I would say, Matt, I would just add one thing. I think, you know, what people are going to get out of the academy, yes, is everything you're teaching and all the activities that come with. But I looked at it as more like, you know, going to school and getting a degree because, you know, when you're an alumnus, I don't think people realize that you and Chin and Matt and Jack and everybody are accessible.
Right.
Right. And so the one thing I would tell any prospective academy attendee would be, yep, you're getting what you pay for there, which is on paper. But all of the advice and conversations I've had after about, hey, did I play a hand wrong? Like, you are super responsive. So is Chin.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't think people realize that. It's like, if you just take the extra effort to like ask a question, you're going to get a response.
Yeah.
And like that just paid dividends, like beyond like the initial academy fee. So I think people should just realize like, it's not just a one-time thing. It's like, no, you're now part of this group.
There you go.
Yeah, and this is probably a good time to mention it, but if you're not already a part of our Slack community, go ahead and click that link. Caleb monitoring the chat. He has it up on Nightbot, so I'm sure he'll throw that up there for everybody to see. It's free, and everybody there is so insanely helpful. Like,
Yes.
I say this all the time, but we have 1,000 people in our Slack community, and I've never had to moderate it.
Wow.
Not in 3
Yeah,
years.
that's
I've never had
crazy.
to hire a moderator. I've never had to oversee it. Like, at most, there has been like a testy disagreement. And generally, it's on something like politics or COVID, right? It's never on like a hand history. So, like, everyone there is so insanely hungry to get better at poker. They're all very helpful. There are like small study groups that spurn off of it where they're going through the material on the site individually, collectively. It's just a massive resource that is at everyone's fingertips for absolutely nothing. And myself, Christian, Hunt, etc., we're all accessible just simply through adding us in a thread.
I
All
thought
it
it was
takes
so-
is putting our name in there.
I always love this story too. This will be the last story. But when I emailed into the admissions at SolveForWhy.com, and I was like sitting at Turner's Place, and like it responded and said Matt Berkey. And I was like, did Matt Berkey actually respond to me?
I did.
That's funny. Hey, Burke, we got a question in the chat.
Okay.
So it's from Sean Watts. When live poker does get back to some normality, what's your opinion on what a poker table looks like? Do you see them having plexiglass separating players?
No, when it gets back to normal, it'll look like normal. I think we could potentially see more like 6 to 8 handed play, but you have to remember that like once this passes, it's out of sight, out of mind. The world is going to, there will be a new normal, of course, but things that aren't restricted moving forward are going to go right back to the way they were. Poker tables are 9-handed, crammed into a room because that's what generates the most rake, not because that's what's most practical or anything else. So, casinos are going to look to scale back to what they were. Now, with that said, I think we're going to see fewer and fewer poker rooms. I think we're going to see a widespread shutdown of rooms that were operating on margins that aren't really easily reproduced any longer.
Yep. I do too. And you know what, bro? Like I'm seeing that now just from our customer base, man.
Yeah.
And it's happening. Orders that will be coming are shrinking. Orders that were going to happen are pushed back to next year. Everybody wants a deal. We got to figure that whole shit out.
Sure.
But so many of those like poker rooms that might have 10, 15, 20 tables, I don't know if they're going to be in business this time next year.
Right.
Whereas the bigger rooms like Best Bet, like Bay 101, like those, they're still going to run strong. And I think you're going to see like probably a 33 to 40% decrease of poker rooms across the country. I'm talking just poker rooms, not poker rooms in casinos. And you might think that's high, but bro, this time next year, I don't think it's that high.
No, I agree.
I think a third is like legit real.
Yeah, even thinking about like just the strip. There's off the top of my head, there's like 5 or 6 rooms that are very improbable to ever reopen. So like Mandalay Bay, MGM, the Flamingo, Harrah's, Bally's. These rooms are in massive danger of just closing. You know, even when you look at the Caesars properties, like they just don't perform well for poker. Caesars is the biggest of the rooms, and they've consolidated twice now to where they're just like a little offshoot of the sports book now.
Yeah. By the way, Chin has 96,000 fucking chips.
Yeah, but it's a turbo. It's only 15 bigs.
I need to cash.
Save the company some money.
I need to save the company money. We're in a recession.
Hey, Burke. So let's keep talk business now, right? I don't think we have any other guests coming in. And by the way, thanks to Nate Silver. Hish, thank you, man, for hopefully you join us for the rest of the time or as much as you can. And then also, thanks.
I'm only here for about 10 more minutes, and then it's eating time.
There you go. Thanks to Kinsey. But so roll through from a business standpoint, what went through your head when you said, you know what, we're going to drop to $9.99 a month for your content and your product, which is worth what you typically charge and more, upwards over the 100 a month. So what went through your mind from a business standpoint for that?
Well, I mean, it kind of happened in the shower one day where I was just like, okay, we're shutting down S4Y TV. Like, that's just going to be the inevitability of it all. We can't carry a $35K a month overhead. It's just not going to perform. Like, there's no way we're going to maintain 500 subscribers at $125 a month, and I don't think there's a number we can drop to where we can meet that overhead at a lower price point. So I was just like, okay, like this is the exit plan. We are gonna scale everything back. We're just gonna start to slowly leak all of our back content for free, and we'll just operate as an academy when things get back to normal. And then I kind of like got out of the doom and gloom a little bit, and I was like, well, if we scale everything back, our overhead really drops. So if we can drop it to, sub 10K, where production's a big portion of it, right? So a lot of our content is highly produced, and it's coming out daily. So I was like, well, if we can drop the release to weekly, and we reduce the production from full-blown courses to like webinars and play and explain type of content, we could definitely weather this storm with a much lower cost and a much lower cost to the clientele, because we're not putting out the same volume of content we were before. So I was like, okay, maybe we just, instead of free, we get as close to free as possible and not worry about profiting. So we decided, like, well, there's no good content at $9.99, so let's basically test the market, and let's stress test all those other like low and medium price sites that aren't going to be able to be as versatile in a tough climate, and let's see if we can just reach massive scale. So the plan is now, like, let's just operate at $9.99 while we're weathering the storm, see if we can scale to like 2,000 to 3,000 members, keep churning out good content, give them access to the entire back catalog, and just, make that decision to raise the price down the line when we go back to full scale, when it makes most sense, and at a price point that the majority of our clientele will be able to afford.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. It's almost a offensive/defensive strategy, but knowing you, like, I think there was a part of you that also was doing it for all your subscribers, because times are going to be tough for the next couple of months. So I think
I was just going to go straight free.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys have earned this. Like, you've supported us through all of this. Now that we are going to drop, like, let's just leak it all for nothing.
Hold. Chin
Yes.
shots. No
worries. Oh, you got the 10.
There's no justice in this.
Look at this. I mean, come on, dude. Who is this guy?
Let's go. We need to
Here's
get
what's
there.
so funny.
Is that
How
why
many
you're
people
raising
are
your hand?
so
How many people are left?
let's see.
31.
What's so funny, Berkey, is like it's the fact that he's doing this, and on our pre-meetings, he was just so adamant about taking this fucking thing down.
I told him the other day, I've never seen anybody who hates losing as much as him at anything. What up, Babyface? Thank you so much. He hit us up with a $5 super chat. We
There you
appreciate
go.
you, man.
All right, guys, I'm gonna roll.
Hish,
Thank
good to
you,
meet you,
Hish.
brother. We'll connect later, man.
Thank you.
Sure.
EVP. Hish.
Hey,
All right, yeah.
EVP. I only got the VP. I didn't get that E. I only got
That's
V.
That's right. But there's a step. There's the S like in between. You know. Then you just.
Yeah.
Sure.
For
All good.
oh,
Thank you,
man.
guys.
See ya,
I'll talk to you
thanks,
soon.
man.
Yeah.
So, Burke, we got a question from JMC Stone. Says, digital poker, is it a future standard? So I'm going to go ahead and say yes. So I'm not going to answer this question in terms of like online poker. I'm going to answer, and what I mean by online poker is paid online poker, like, all those paid real money
Yep.
sites. I'm going to answer this question from like what you see now in terms of social poker play and all those types
Right.
of sites.
So I guess like that's what I'm saying, why I say that I think you have a play here. Because like as Hish brought up, online poker as we know it will never be what it was pre-Black Friday. So for us to reinitiate that market in the United States, I think it begins with the social platform. So I think it begins, like WSOP, WSOP's Play Money site or Play Money app was bought out by Playtica. And I think that like that's a clear demonstration of just how big this social market is. They're now the second biggest Play Money app in the world behind Zynga. And both are like in the top 10 of all apps. So it just demonstrates like how widespread this market actually can be at a free/social level where, the incentive isn't necessarily making money, it's just competition. I think we just need to retool the way we view the landscape. And it's hard from like a perspective of like mine or yours because we play for money and we are competitive and that's the only way we view poker. But there is a massive there's a massive like 8 to 10 figure audience that is just splashing around. And I forget this, like I dated a girl in 2014 who she took an interest in poker like when we started hanging out and she would just play Zynga like just casually and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, and she would get so excited over the most trivial things like having a hand. Like I forget what that's like, you forget what it's like to be dealt aces and actually have your heart rate go up and like, oh man, like let's go, this is the spot. And then the disappointment when they don't win or the excitement when they do, whatever the case. There is a lot to leverage on, this is something that I stopped myself from getting into with Nate, but I think it could have been a big discussion. Markets are moving by
Oh,
behavior.
man.
Oh,
Will the
good luck,
king
Jim.
hit?
Yes!
Come on!
Let's go, kid. Let's go.
Look at this fucking guy. Soto. Oh,
GG.
tables. Where you at now?
I'm on table 26.
Oh, man.
The thing is, you knew it was
GG, Alex
coming.
J. I'm so sorry my man keeps doing this to everybody.
Let's
And I
go.
swear this is not rigged. This is not-
Oh, man,
if it was rigged, me and Berkey would still be in.
we
Come
gotta
on.
check this RNG. We gotta
Oh,
check out this
shit.
RNG. Chin is just mashing. It's very unfair.
I'm telling you guys, if you were on the pre-meeting and you heard Chin talking about how he was going to take this shit down.
He was
this
a man on a mission. I will absolutely give him that much.
How many people are left? I need to, what's the ICM implications?
26.
You are fourth in
26 are
chips.
left.
You're fourth in chips. There are 26 left. 18 pay.
I
So
need
you
to
guys
bust
are-
somebody.
You guys are, 8 out of the money. The money being a free month to S4Y TV and a free month to Learn Pro Poker.
Need
Shout
to
out
save-
to Ryan LaPlante and the whole team over at Learn Pro Poker. If you haven't already, definitely check them out. I'm going to I don't know if we have the affiliate link in the chat or not, but I'm going to go ahead and throw it in there for Caleb to turn into a Nightbot. You guys will save $10 a month, I believe, if you sign up through us. And, we benefit from it as well, which is always nice.
Burke, if you see me
Caleb's
texting,
on that shit. Look at him, man. Look at him. Look at us. They're the best.
If you see me texting or over here, I might have to help the Poker Grow Action Network crew a little bit. So just heads up.
Yeah, man, go do your thing. Chin and I can, we can easily bring this home while he's fucking chip leading.
But I think your point is valid, bro, and that's what this has taught me. Like, the differentiator of the Faded Spade Card Club is not like, here are the differentiators. You don't gotta download anything, right? You can customize a table to your liking if you choose to subscribe. You can personalize the table from a graphic standpoint to make it feel like your own. And there's no rake taken out.
Right.
Like those
How does
3
that
to
work
4
on the
things
Stars Home game where they
are
take
really
breaks?
fucking important for people we're learning.
Yeah.
and like what Zynga does and others, like they add another element to it. Now it's like, hey, buy play chips.
Right.
You can buy play chips and you can play in this for that and blah, blah, blah. And maybe we'll get there.
Well, when I say
Look,
that the
we're
top
4
10,
weeks into this shit, right? We're 4 weeks in.
When I say that Zynga and WSOP or now Playtika are top 10 in apps, I mean revenue. So I don't necessarily mean downloads. I mean they are both 2 of the 10 most profitable apps on the market. And that's saying something because people are paying money now for no reason, right? It's not like by buying chips, you are able to win chips or cash anything out. They're just doing it so that they can play higher fake stakes.
Yeah.
You know?
And we'll probably go to that model. And then we'll have an app, right? We'll have the option. You can go browser, you can go app, whatever, right? We'll have those. But bro, for 4 weeks in, for the results that we have, for the feedback that we've got, and there were people that were upset tonight, right? Because they couldn't get in the tournament because we didn't have enough seats open, and we get it, and we understand, and we'll figure that out. I get it. But there's been so many other positive comments about the stream and about the gameplay and about this and that it's like, these are the real people that make up our community. Not you, not me, not Chin, not anybody else. These are the poker players. This is our industry, man.
And I think the person who figures out a Zoom integration is going to be the one who wins. Yeah.
This close. And it's not even Zoom. It's something else that we can privately.
Whatever.
Bro,
anything.
it's this close, Matt.
And I know that there were apps already where they would integrate this. So I saw a funny thing. I think the Jungle Man tweeted or maybe it was Ivy. It was Ivy and Jason Kuhn. That's what it was. So Jason Kuhn was playing Ivy heads up, and Ivy you could turn your camera on and off to verify it was who you were playing against. And I guess Ivy turned his camera on and goes, "There's a glitch in the app. I can't see the board. They were on the river." Or he goes, "I can't see the river card." And Jason was bluffing. And just told him what the river card was, and Ivy just snap calls, and everybody was kind of joking that he was looking for a live read or whatever. But that is another layer to it, being able to actually look somebody in the face. It adds something. It adds some novelty that doesn't currently exist in the online realm, and also from a health standpoint, there are so many keyboard warriors out there. Just playing on WSOP a little bit here and there. I get verbally abused
Shut up.
You would never believe. And it's just turn your camera on and say it to my face, and I'll be able to accept it a lot better. And vice versa, right? It's I don't care. Let the shit talking fly, man. I think
Bro,
it's
do you know
amazing.
do you know what I've been called already this stream and the last couple streams? It's just whatever.
Yeah.
Yes, I know I'm bald.
Right.
Thanks.
Yeah, of course. But it's just who cares? It has no meaning when it's typed. Because it's just cowardly, right? It's doing it behind the vanity or the veil of anonymity. But it's force people to turn a camera on, and suddenly the environment gets a lot more jovial. It gets a lot more gambly. It gets a lot more. There's social constructs to being forced to look somebody in the face.
Dude, tonight tonight on Poker Go, like they're using the Faded Spade Card Club for their Friday night poker with the Action Network. And it's going to be the table and all of them on Zoom. And they can look at each other in the face and talk. I guarantee you, if we had 360 people on video, that type of shit would not be said. It would be chatted in the chat. It would be there. And then they wouldn't show their face. It's just so easier. But here's the thing. That's why you got to have thick skin.
Yeah.
And you know how you develop, you know how you develop thick skin? Run your own damn business.
Yeah.
You'll develop some thick skin.
That's true. I just think that, like, all in all, getting back to, you know, the online product coming back in any sort of regulated market, this is just another layer that helps that. Yeah. Anything that, again, like, speaks to transparency and speaks to the degree of people feeling safe in the environment they're playing in will massively fast track the ability for online poker to be real again. Yeah,
I agree. You know what I thought was really interesting? We hadn't talked about it, you and I, but I saw some of your tweets about it the other day. Something about how, the last, I'm paraphrasing, bro, so correct me. The first few weeks of this whole social distancing, what we saw in online poker and the boom and all these people playing, but then like all of a sudden how you saw it tail off because so many people didn't have the liquidity to keep playing anymore. Like, and guarantees weren't being met and things like that. So that's about as deep as I went. And I saw something you said about, hey, like there's a real concern about longevity in online poker based on just what we've seen over the last 10 to 12 weeks.
Yeah.
So am I paraphrasing that all right? Or was it a different take?
Yeah, no, I think that the boom is just like everything else. You know, you institute some sort of prohibition and everybody finds a new means to an end. So it's no shock that people turn to online. I think that the black market or gray market apps swallowed a lot of that business up and skinned them alive. In a lot of instances, the rake was just unbeatable. Between having to pay your host and the site itself taking a rake, most even winners were probably losing, but the losing players were just getting absolutely filleted. So, you know, I think maybe we have 30 more days of prosperity before the liquidity starts to dry up again. And I still am not convinced we're not facing a major economic crisis. So that in and of itself is going to dry up a lot of the loose money, if you will.
Yeah.
And more importantly than the loose money drying up, it's going to dry up the quote unquote facilitators or the game starters, the guys who aren't winning much, but are, you know, basically in full blown survival. So if you're looking at the break even line, it's the people who are very small winners, very small losers. That's the majority of what makes up this clientele, I guess. And fewer and fewer and fewer of them are going to be able to wait it out, particularly if the EV of their spot goes down, and
100%.
And the need to facilitate more liquidity goes up.
100%. By the way, Chin has 173K chips now.
He's mashing. What up, Saul? How you doing, my man?
We need to win this, or we need to at least cash.
So
let's just say this,
everybody. There's 21 left. 18 are paying. I believe that. Let me get the actual. Let me bring
now,
the.
And let's be real here, Chin. If you win this thing, you're going to give the home school to the second place person.
No, right? No, it won't be the second place. It'll just be someone that played. I don't know who. Won't be second place. That person, maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Here's the deal.
I'm playing for the people.
Okay. Here's the deal. I haven't said what Faded Spade was doing yet. So for all the final tablists, we're going to give a free month subscription to your personalized game. Whoever knocks out Chin.
Wow.
Whoever knocks out Chin. We're going to give you a free set of every single one of our poker playing cards just for knocking out Chin. You're going to get the 4-color. You're going to get the bridge size.
You really need to win.
Size. It's coming. Knock out Chin, and that's what you got.
Wow, that's strong.
I was about to abuse the bubble. Now they're all going to call.
You're fucked now, man.
That Chin bounty is for real.
I need to win to save all companies.
Give me a second. I am going to get the
What are you, table 26, Chin?
26. Yeah.
And then Burke, if you hit players, you can actually, if you go to the tournament lobby and hit players, you'll see like the whole. Well, you know what you did. You did it already.
Yeah, it's
you got
up.
it. You got it.
But
I'm looking at the stream and I'm like, this is the delay. What the fuck am I looking
No,
at?
there's no delay.
Oh, there isn't?
No. I just want to bring up the prize pool.
Slander Alexander, get me those cards. All right, brother. You know what? We need to put a discount out there. Let me go set something up. All right, to all those in chat, we've got 21 left. What place is Mr. Soto going to finish in? Of the 21 left, what place is Mr. Soto going to finish in? Let us know what you think.
Man, where did I see it?
Ooh, tens.
So, Christian,
Yeah.
when Berkey said, yo, we're going to knock this down to $9.99 a month, what was your reaction?
I was concerned. I was definitely concerned. But I thought after I thought about it for a little while, I thought it was a pretty good idea, just because I thought like it knocked down the barrier that a lot of people had in terms of like, oh, like they couldn't afford 125, you know?
Yeah.
But then like after that, I was like, oh, this is kind of a good idea. Like if we can scale it, it'll be great. But yeah, initially I was like, yeah, okay, now we're definitely going broke.
I love the honesty, bro.
We're not out of the woods yet, man. Going broke is still a very viable option.
Dude, I'm ready to put out like a freaking promotion to all poker rooms to be like, order now, pay up front, knocking the price by 40%, helping you out save money, helping us out make a little money. I'm ready to go that route at this point with Faded Spade. We'll see.
How many people are there? 21 still? Or 20?
20.
By the way, Burke,
Yep.
just the last 2 days, I've been getting to know Brent Hanks through these discussions.
Yeah.
I really like the guy, man.
He's the best.
He seems like such a good, genuine dude. He's funny. He's really cooperative and partnership oriented going through this whole stuff. So shout out to Brent Hanks, man. Just a good dude. Glad to get to know you the last few days, man.
Yeah, no, he's the absolute best. Brent, I've known forever. He forced me to be his friend. Much like Chin, actually. No, but I'm very grateful for his friendship. He's the best. He basically played in the first casino game that myself and my good friend Brian LaManna, a.k.a. the LaManager, used to play in Salamanca, New York. Met a lot of good people there that I'm still friends with today. Here's a look at the prize pool for anybody who is wondering. So for 10th through 18th place, 1 free month of S4Y TV, plus 1 month of Learn Pro Poker. And then as you can see at the final table, it all scales. Once we actually get down to the final table, I'll bring this prize pool back up. But there are 19 left. We're on the stone bubble. Malakaboo and the small blind here is our short stack. So we're going to sweat this a little bit as we pull that back up. I'll leave that right there. Oh, I can't do both. All right, we'll do that. Can I do this? Nope. We'll keep sweating it. We got the shorty at our table. Chin doing just fine.
Look, everything we're doing today and tonight is just figuring this shit out for the next few times we do it. That's all.
Yeah, I was worried that the structure was going to be too long, but it's perfect. It was nicely paced the whole way through, where it was a fast structure, but we were going to get done in 4 hours, which is desirable. Probably 3 hours.
Yeah, we had the benefit of running a few like couple hundred tournaments just when we did like the beta testing.
Yeah.
And like opened it up to our customers.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's still bubbles, still.
Yeah, man, relax.
Okay. I'm trying to mash, bro.
19 left.
That's a hell of a prize pool, man. By the way, you guys are really generous.
We're here to give it away, man. You know, that's what we do. We talked Mr. LaPlante into to donating to the prize pool as well. So it's fat. If you want to get good at poker, win this tournament. That's all.
Okay.
Oh gosh, hold on, Burke.
Shout out to my man Bike King. He's next to last in chips, but he's a
What up?
super nit, so he's definitely gonna cash. I'm
What
confident.
up, Bike King? What kind of bike you got?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
how
he
many
lives in
chips
his
this guy
car.
has?
He lives
I
in
can't
his
see.
Prius.
I can't see how many chips this person has. Is that Brian? The white is blocking it out.
Oh, he shoved for 118.
The white is blocking it out.
I can't see it. Yeah,
Why can't you see? We can all see.
I can't see it.
Oh shit.
It's 118,000, man.
Okay, that's fine. I'm all in.
Oh shit. Here we go.
Wow.
I'm gonna
this
say
is
Jax.
bold.
I'm gonna
He's
say
on the
Jax,
bubble.
Burke.
He's disrespecting.
Maybe he just
He's
has a
just-
hand chin.
He's got. I'm gonna say he's got 9s because of his name, and you're gonna have Jax or some shit.
Nah, I
like
don't have a pair. Oh wait, fuck. Chad, you should.
chins for days.
Malakaboo could be, or Mullakaboo. He could be in heaven.
He's got the time bank. He's got a decision. The
days
time
says he
bank
has
has
a
been
pair.
hit.
Yeah, now he knows I don't have a pair. So go ahead. I'm gonna hit anyway. I don't care.
Maybe it's your ace king or ace queen up against.
I would
like
love
9s
to
and 10s.
double eliminate these freaking people.
And when he says freaking people, he means the freaking people that he loves.
Yeah, I love you, but go ahead, put it in. Oh my god, what do you have? You have 9s? Maybe he has aces. I hope he has aces actually.
Yo, why do I think there's a legit chance that you're lying and you just are sitting with like 10s? Man, I hope he's slow rolling. Oh, we need a good slow roll. Let's go. Oh, Poker Odyssey saying the white on the logo is blocking the chip count, but oh, he had the 10s.
Bubble! Get out of here!
Of
Oh,
course.
no.
Of course.
Malakaboo,
Please give Brian 999
congratulations.
something.
Brian, GG. We are so sorry that our owner is so selfish he couldn't fold ace queen suited on the button or on the bubble rather.
You gotta hook Brian up with something.
We are in the money. Malakaboo lasted. Bike King wow, Bike King doubled. Let's go. Chin is 3rd in chips right now. Gotta find his table.
I can't believe this is happening with Chin, man, after our call. I can't believe it.
2 tables left. This is madness.
Throw it in, Malibu Kaka.
Now he's happy to be in. Chin
Ah.
big blind calls. Wow, you just always have a hand.
10. Nah.
Ship it.
Luck box.
Big double, big double.
I was calling anything. It was like less than a min raise.
Wow, you got your chip leader to the left too.
He's scared. He's scared of me though.
Right now, Brent Hanks is serving as Faded Spade Card Club customer service, making sure everybody gets registered for their Poker Go Action Network
Yo,
tournament.
take care of your people, man. We're good.
No, we're good. We got it.
Do what you got to do.
It's pretty easy. We got it.
I've officially saved the company a month of subscription.
Save your Soto. He's in the house.
Savior Soto. Just
How
what
much-
everybody needs.
How much more can I save us?
Chin, Tom, I need you guys to handle the realm for a minute or two. I gotta hit the head.
We got you, man. All right, so
right.
let's see what's going down here. We're going to do some shout outs. So let's see here. We'll go to rank. We got VIR 2L Vienquish, the chip leader at 460K. Number 1, right behind him, Broward Poker. Number 3, Chin. I am just flopping monsters.
Yes.
We got number 4, Triple X Goku 69. Okay, well, okay. We got Fiddler OTG, Magical 1. Some dude named Frank. We got Frank. And rank number 7, Chinaman 52528, Desert Hippie. I know that name, Desert Hippie. You have played in some Faded Spade tournaments since we.
Oh, we flopped them dead.
Oh no! Oh no! Chin again takes the fucking lead. 430,000. I can't, bro. I can't do it.
Let's go.
I can't do it, man. I wish I had a recording of our prep call, man.
Let's go.
I can't do it. All right. So the new chip leader.
No. This guy on my left, we're tied. We're like tied.
Oh, okay. Christian Soto still in top 3, over 400K chips, just flopping monsters. All right, where the hell did I leave off? I left off with place 11, Chins for Days. We got Bike King 19, number 12, B Squared 13, Saul V 123 14, Mulakabu 15, Ace Ragman 16. Check Engine just finished. Good game, Check Engine. We got 16 people left. S4Y is giving out a bunch of shit. We're having a good time. Christian Soto, flopping monsters, turning monsters.
I'm having fun, though. I'm having fun. It's cool.
That's what it's all about, bro. This is all about having a good time, right? You know, that's the thing. You don't, sometimes, Chin, I don't know about you, but when I play fun freaking poker tournaments with a bunch of people that have a passion for poker, I have more fun
It's true.
than I have when I'm playing a 10K or when I'm playing 5-10 sometimes. And that's just how it kind of rolls for me. I don't know about you, man.
Yeah, no, it's fun. Like, I do that too. Like, let's say, like, I'll go down and play like 1-2 with my friends, and it's like some of the most fun games I have because it's
Ever.
like I'm not there just like trying to win and shit. Like, I'm just trying to have fun, and that's cool.
I love how Berkey left the window open on his screen so you can't see the flop right now on the stream.
Yeah, some crazy. I think Bike King got some chips, so he's up to 155.
So wild. You know what we got to talk about? We got to talk about our Austin trip.
Yeah.
We got to talk about that Austin trip, man. I mean, it's kind of like we got back from that Austin trip, right? I went there for one reason. You guys went there for another. We all met up and hung out and shit. But it's like the minute we got back from that Austin trip is when all this shit started happening, right?
Yeah, literally. That's why I was so scared. Like, I was like, wow, blinds went up again. All right, let's go. Let's finish this thing off. All right. Yeah, literally, right after Austin, we got back, and it was like, it was over. Like, it was chaos. All right, let's try to send this guy home. We got to call 6,000 more. Call. What do you got?
Berkey's
Okay.
got to come back and fix the screen.
6K.
And I am. What you doing?
Yes.
Oh,
Go!
no, you did not.
Exit.
Are you fucking
Exit.
I swear.
Exit.
How many? I can't.
I wish this was a bounty tournament.
Why are they
How do
letting
you hit
win?
the 6? How do you hit the 6?
Why are they letting you win?
We can't. There's no explanation here, bro. There's no explanation.
Kid's just punishing.
Oh, Burke.
I found
All
some
right, bro.
chicken on my way back.
Oh, I'm so hungry right now.
Oh man,
So-
that was great.
So, Burke,
Yep.
we were just starting to talk about Austin and how y'all went there for your meetup. I went there for some business meetings across Texas. We hung out, had a good time. And it seemed like the minute we get back to our respective homes, all this shit goes down.
Yeah. I almost got trapped there. I went to Dallas for 3 days after. And I didn't want to leave. I wanted to go back to Austin. That float house was just calling my name. And I was like, we have this thing with Run It Up. We were going to do a 1025 cash game and live stream it. I was like, I got to get back for it. Like, the game's not going to run without me. By the time I got back, the game had completely collapsed. And it was like, well, I kind of wish I would have stayed because I would have enjoyed myself, but I'm kind of glad I didn't because I might have just been stuck there.
I remember that because I remember I was trying to convince you to come to Houston
Yeah.
because that's where I had business meetings, and you had to go to Dallas for your own shit. And then it was like, all of a sudden, we all changed our flights, right? We all moved our flights around.
Yeah.
And then the day we're getting on the flight, all this stuff started surfacing on the news. And it's just like, what is happening?
Right.
And think about, it's just like, I don't know about you, but I was home saying, dude, I was just playing poker with a bunch of random ass people in Texas in 3 different cities.
I 100% had COVID.
I
I was so sick by the time I got back. I was just in bed for like 6 days straight. There's no
Are you
doubt in my mind
serious?
I had it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, but I didn't really show the traditional symptoms. I never had a fever. I had like some headaches. I had like I went through the I had a sore throat for like 36 hours and then just disappeared. And then I had like chest congestion in the way where like you just felt the need to clear your throat a lot, like kind of stuff. But I had awful nasal drip. I was fatigued. I was miserable. I couldn't get out of bed. I was sleeping like 16 hours. Hey, buddy. Oh, you just woke up for sure.
Did you lose your taste at all or smell?
No. Well, not that I'm aware of. I mean, my nose was clogged, so I could have lost my smell. I don't think I lost my taste, but I was literally living off of bone broth and Pedialyte anyway, so who knows?
It's so gross. But I mean, God, what a crazy situation. And think about that, Burke. We visited probably 8 poker rooms and had like 5 verbal orders.
Yeah.
All gone. We had worked out stuff for you guys to go visit a poker room in San Antonio and a poker room in Houston and do more meetup games, right? And that went down the drain. But you know what, man? It's still gonna happen. It's just not right now.
Yeah, I'm excited for it to normalize to some degree.
So what did you think about Texas poker?
Man.
Oh baby.
What do you mean?
Oh baby.
I never played higher than 1020 and I won like 50, 100 worth of return. It was wild.
Hunt and I were playing a 1-3 game where there was $4,000 in front of a guy.
Yeah.
What?
No, that guy was crazy too. Hunt couldn't wait to get in there. Yo, Lamanna's throwing out bets. I'm in. I will take that $200 bet. He wants to bet me $200 that I didn't have COVID. All I need to do is get the antibody test to
What? Come on, man. I had it.
Did you lose a hand? I mean,
No, I had ace 9. I was snapping people.
LaManager, it's booked. It's booked. All right, good. God, it would be nice to fucking take some money.
shout out to Brian. What up, Brian?
How do you donate plasma? Do you just donate blood and then they separate it?
I don't know, bro.
I would imagine.
I'm about as clueless on that as I am how the hell Chin has 458,000
How many are left?
chips.
12?
12, yeah. So the final table gets a ton of great stuff from Solve4Y,
Here
don't
are
they?
the prizes for everybody at home.
Yes. That's what I need. Need to save.
So you can see. Hopefully that's showing up. Oh, we do have a small delay. I didn't realize that. So it looks like we're on like a 15-second delay. I forgot there's that latency between OBS and YouTube. That's your prize pool, everyone at home. Final table is where it's at, of course. That's where the next pay jump is. Chin, I am trying to take it home, save us a homeschool seat.
That would be nice.
Shout out to Joshua Murchison. Said he just signed up for S4Y TV. Excited to see what the future holds for you guys. Keep up the great work and the awesome poker content. Thanks, man. We appreciate you. Antibody tests show 50% false positive, so it's a bad bet either way. Well, it sounds like it's a good bet for me. Sounds like a bad bet for Lamanna.
No.
Sorry, LaManager. GLGL.
So there's how many? 11 left or 10?
10 now.
Final table bubble.
How is Soto still playing?
Still playing, bro. He's got all the chips.
I just don't get it, guys. If you just were...
Chin is third in chips, as he's been the entire tournament.
Oh,
Shout out to VIR2L Vanquish, 700,000 as a chip leader. My man Biking, fourth in chips now, climbing the ladder. It looks like Ace Ragman is our short stack, who's at your table. He has 2 big blinds. looking for the chance to get it in. Yo, funny to hear Biking calling somebody a nit. Although it's not that funny him calling Chin a nit because Chin's a nit.
Yeah, I'm real nit.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
about
why
to
you're still in.
No, I'm
Good hand.
the reason. No, it's because I stole every hand on the bubble.
Yeah, he stole every hand.
That six on the
I saw
river.
ace
That
queen
six on the
suited
river
go
was
in
so
on the
funny.
bubble, that's all.
When you were taking a break, man, he won an all in with, I think you had the nuts, didn't you, Chin? You have a flush, ace high
Yeah,
flush,
flop the flush.
and then he gets it in like against a shorter stack with king six against like ace nine, and like binks a six on the river.
Wow, this guy raises the flop here.
Must be nice to be the kid.
So Burke,
What's up?
I got our New York trip, man, to go visit all these folks.
I have a lot of friends in New York that I probably need to see, so I'm 100% in.
September 14th,
Okay.
Pittsburgh Steelers at New York Giants, 7:15 p.m.
Wait,
on
is this the
ESPN.
final? This the final table now?
This is the final table. Congratulations, everybody.
What's
You've
up,
all
guys?
made the final
Congrats.
table. You're all guaranteed now at least 2 months of Solve for Y TV, plus a Solve for Y hat, plus 1 month of Learn Pro Poker.
Wow.
Thank you.
Oh, no, sorry. You don't get the hat. I lied. That's sixth place. My bad, man. My bad. My bad. So the hat is the next bubble. Yo, Cat, you in the way. You
What up,
in the
Cat?
way, man. Oh,
That was a weird hand. Like, I think the board was 8-5-3. I mean, he raised me on the flop.
All right,
'cause you
it's
had
my
nothing.
turn to take a 2-minute break. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
all right. See you, Tom. All right, Chin, let's hear it. Let's give the people some of the secrets. How'd you get this far?
I got lucky that I had a lot of chips on the bubble and I raised every hand, and then I shoved under the gun with Jack 8 of clubs and everybody folded. And then after that, somebody shoved and I had ace 8 suited and I called and I flopped a flush.
Wow.
And then after that, somebody shoved and I had ace queen and I hit an ace.
So playing well.
Yeah.
This is just a day in the life, huh?
I have 4 other tables open.
How are you doing in the other ones?
I'm also doing well.
Sure.
So we're eight people left.
Looks that way.
Come on, man. We need a little bit of heat.
Looks that way. You are what, 3 of 8?
Yeah, but I got a bad seat.
Well, it could be worse. You could be Solve.
No, I have the worst seat.
No, you don't.
The chip leader's on my left.
No, he's not.
Where is the chip leader? Oh, I see.
He's double your stack, bro.
Yeah, but he's
Everybody's
scared.
very short.
I noticed.
Not a lot
Yeah.
of post-flop play here.
I see that. That's not my specialty. I make a lot of pre-flop tournament mistakes.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, but I have to think that way. That way I try harder. This is the saddest I've ever been to bust a free roll. This is shit for day sets.
You busted. Oh. Shout out Chins for Days. Sorry that you didn't make it, my man. Let's give a little shout out to everybody who is at the final table. Did Chins for Days
Bust
finish
them!
ninth?
Bust them! Yes! Pay jumps! Pay jumps!
GGAJ. Fiddler
What can-
OTG. Good game.
what can-
Good game,
what-
Ragman, who finished in 9th place. You guys will be getting a month of Solve for Y TV. You'll be getting a month of Learn Pro Poker. And you will be getting, what else are you getting? Let me take a look. And you will be getting, 2 free months of Solve for Y TV and a month of Learn Pro Poker. As will the next person who bust. Then the 6th place finisher will be getting 2 months plus a hat.
Damn, I need to finish at least 6th.
We'll check out those prizes once again after the next person busts. Still a bounty on Chin's head. Tom went ahead and was gracious enough to put some faded spade. I don't know what to call it. Swag?
Yeah.
Cards
Material?
and a 3-month subscription, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
dude.
Card
merch.
swag.
The
Card
merch.
swag.
Chin's
Just
getting a little
bust
short,
Chin.
man.
I have never wanted to give out cards more than right now. Just make
I
them
feel
pay.
you.
I really don't want to bust.
I know you don't. You want to win this thing, bro. I know you do.
But the probability that I do is so low, but it's okay. It's fine. I'm going to try.
All right, I'm gonna shout out the rest of the final table. VR2L Vanquish. Let us know who you are, man. If you guys are in the YouTube chat, let us know it's you so I can give you proper shout outs. Shout out to my man Biking Andrew Pieper, playing from his fucking Prius like a gangster. Good luck to you, my friend. Broward Poker, second in chips. Good luck busting Shin. XXX Goku 69. That name just sounds a little messed up, man. I don't know what's going on. And Magical One. Oh, and also Saul V123. Good luck to everybody still left. I'm rooting for anybody but Chin to win. Don't forget, first place is a seat to homeschool, which is going to begin June 1st, 3 p.m. every day. It's going to be 4 weeks, 5 days a week, plus open office hours on Saturdays. So we are going to be in the thick of things, really just teaching you guys everything from start to finish.
This guy disconnected.
Do the right thing, man. Do the right thing. Give him a chance.
They got disconnect protect, so it'll be all right. If he's disconnected, the time bank will run down and it'll just fold. There he goes.
Back.
He's back in. I might have to pop in homeschool. I might have to,
Mark Goodrich, what up, man? He said he's Broward Poker, has never missed a SPADE stream. Good luck. I'm rooting for you to bust Chin. Don't think Chin won't get emotional, too. Like, the fact that I'm rooting for someone to bust him, if that guy busts him, he'll be pissed at me.
I'll be pissed at that guy. I'll be like, yo, fuck that guy.
Stav asks, Chin, if you win this tournament, will be your greatest poker accomplishment. Berkey, feel free to answer first. You ever won a tournament before?
Have you ever won a tournament? You've played poker 10 more years than me.
Back in the good days, man. 2006, I used to win all the things.
You've had a couple deep runs in some of the Party Poker Live events, haven't you, Burke?
I've made a lot. I have a lot of second through fifth place finishes, man.
Yeah.
A lot. But I won a lot of tournaments online back in the good old day. Richard Green asks, if I sign up for homeschool and I miss a day, will the replay be available? Yeah, so everybody who attends homeschool, we share a Google Drive folder with you. And in that folder is all of the replays of homeschool, as well as all of the lesson notes, the slides.
Sean's in the Google, in the YouTube chat. I mean, Virtual Vanquish is in the Google chat. Sean.
Oh, that's how you spell it. You're so smart. Or pronounce it. I was saying VIR2L.
Jeez.
Virtual Vanquish. I get it.
It's not even my first language.
What, internet slang?
Yeah.
That's not English.
Oh man, blinds are up again.
Saul, what up? Saul Virl? Wow, I'm just butchering that. Villarreal.
Yes.
Yeah, I went through the names when you were gone, and I was like, I can't do this shit.
It's tough, man. It's tough.
It's a freaking hyper turbo.
Oh my God, here he goes. Starting to complain about the structure.
Look, yeah. Oh, 8-minute rounds. I don't have enough time to play. Oh.
We're skipping levels.
We're not skipping levels. You know what? Let me see if I can mess with this algorithm. Whoever's Chin I am, 2-7 the rest of the time. So Burke, 9-14. So do you think it's actually week 1, bro? No, week 2.
Of what?
Do you think NFL actually starts on time?
No.
Like
No.
nothing happened?
Well, I mean, yeah, if they want to play to empty crowds. I don't think it's like super probable though. I don't know though. Here's the thing, man. Sports is going to come back before any other business. That's for sure.
It's week 1.
Right now would be preseason? No.
9-14, 9-14,
Oh,
20.
in September you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Bust. Yes.
Oh,
GG Magical One. You are going to get 2 months of SPADE TV, 1 month to learn pro poker, and now the next person to finish gets upgraded to a hat.
and you get to say Christian Soto knocked you out.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Some people are asking me in the cash game chat if there's any significant changes to homeschool Berkey. I'm concentrated on this game right
Yeah, I
now.
was gonna say it's funny, like as if you don't know the answer.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say significant changes. There are changes. So we've altered the structure. We are gonna have the review on Mondays instead of Fridays now. We are going to basically front load the labs. So Hunt is going to give the visual demonstration of the actual theoretical conversation that Chin and I will be having. So basically Mondays will be review, Tuesday will be a lab, then a lesson, then a lab, then a lesson, etc. And it should just have a little bit more continuity to it than it did in the past. So we're going to basically make it so that it flows better through the practical application into the theory talk. But overall, the same topics will be covered. We do it off the cuff, so it's not scripted. You can guarantee that some of the information will be different. Some of the questions will be different. I think that there's value for somebody who's already taken it, but obviously, I don't necessarily think anybody needs to retake it either.
There you go.
Yo, Caleb defined a creature in Nightbot.
Yeah, I told him to. I gave that definition's awesome.
Oh, man, that's great. A creature is an undefined being that cannot resist releasing chips. We must incinerate them.
I love it.
These poor guys.
Jason Burr says your clap means you're about to bust.
These blinds are for real, man. Saul is basically all in the big ICM spot here for everyone.
What?
You gave him a walk.
Oh!
No. XXX, what are you doing?
That hurts.
Broward, what are you doing?
By King. How do you fold the small blind?
Oh, you're getting like 37-1.
Yo, that was some collusion right there.
Yeah, what's up?
Saul
Look at
gives him a walk
that.
right back. He's hanging on with his 1.5 blinds.
God.
Smart, man. He applies the ICM pressure to everybody else. No one can
Let's
play a
go.
hand. You're just out here swinging, though.
Let's go. Apply it to me.
Yeah, let's go. What do you got?
I got a fucking.
Chin's a creature.
I don't want to say. I have a deuce.
Chin's a creature.
Brick.
Ace!
Brick.
on.
That's the nut flush. Hit the
GG
showers.
Saul.
I don't mind.
Thank you for playing. You will get 2 months subscription to S4Y TV, a hat. Let's see what else you're going to be getting.
That's the nut flush.
And 1 month of Learn Pro Poker. Sorry, 2 months of Learn Pro Poker. 1 month of Learn Pro Poker. I'm not sure how we're doing it. It's either one
Guys,
or two. I'll
you
leave it
don't-
up to the back end guys to decide. Next,
You don't understand.
to bust. 2 free months of S4Y TV. 1 free month of Learn Pro Poker. A S4Y hat. A S4Y t-shirt. We're giving you the entire shop. That's the 5th place finisher.
This is actually an interesting spot right now. I'm gonna take a picture of this and
The
send it to our.
bubble spot here is now in 4th place. You get all the months of Learn Pro Poker for free. 3 months.
That's cool.
Oh God, dude! Did Chin call his shot a couple days ago?
I can't
Did he
breathe.
Did he
I
call
can't
his
breathe.
shot?
He wants to win it so bad for pride.
It's gonna
I
be
can't believe
interesting.
Jason, we're not even in the same place. Otherwise, I obviously would have DQ'd him a long time ago. We should have gotten a side market going. Lay some prices on Chin and myself.
Yeah, you know what? Like next time we do this, like we'll put the bounties on you guys, and we'll give out Faded Spade merch to anybody that busts you guys. I want to do a. Yeah, you got you got it.
How do you not call? Brawler said he had King Jack. He folded it
When?
When?
right
No.
now.
No,
now.
no.
Strong. Bro, he wants that swag. He wants that extra 2 months of Learn Pro Poker. This is intense. Goku
fact-
now, super short, 5 blinds. What were you going to say, Tom?
The fact that Chin is actually in this right now, at this level,
In it,
based
he's
on our
second in
meeting,
chips.
and he's second in chips, like just makes this so much more compelling.
I'd
I
rather
want
be
to
rooting
win,
for him.
man.
So
So right, I
chat,
get to anti-sweat one person. I get to focus all of my anti-sweat towards one person.
let me ask chat this. Chat, Do you want Chin to win or do you want Chin to bust?
That's a good
chat.
question.
What do you want? Chin
They
to
definitely
win
want me to
or
bust.
Chin to bust? Type win or bust in chat to let us know what your decision is.
I want to win.
Chin to win. Team Chin. Look at all this. Bust. Win, win, win.
Lamanna said it. Lamanna's fired. Doesn't even want me to win.
Me too.
You guys are fucked up, bro. Oh, this guy's going home. He's going home. Wow, the collusion. Check.
Good luck, Goku. Good luck, all in.
Good luck. You're going to need a good hand. This guy's betting into a dry side pot. Wow, what's about to happen?
Oh, I see what they're saying. That one seat.
Oh!
I see what they're saying. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
Yo, we might get down to 3.
Oh!
Oh, what's Viking doing?
Oh!
Oh!
I see him suicide. I see him suicide. I see him suicide.
GG.
I see him suicide. 3-way battle. Let's go.
Goku, our 5th place finisher. Viking, our 4th place finisher.
Wait, what do we get for third?
3rd place, 3 months of Solve4Y TV. All the Solve4Y swag. 3 months of Learn Pro Poker. So
Oh,
same
we
thing as
saved-
4th, only an extra month of S4Y TV.
Save so much money.
Everybody who made the final table, we will be sending out.
Oh, no.
Good
No!
luck. Oh, no.
Wow.
Is it over?
He's out.
I'm not out.
Oh,
I'm
he's
not
not
out.
out. He has life.
Luck box.
Everybody at the final table, the manager will be contacting you with your prizes to distribute.
Probably Monday or Tuesday. We'll get you everything this weekend, Bert.
Perfect.
Oh man, I feel like just the wind got knocked out of this thing right now. Chin down to like 3 bigs.
I have 1 big. I have 1.5 bigs.
Oh, 1 big.
What are you gonna tank?
Nah, I'm trying to do some math.
GG, Chin. GG.
Good game, buddy.
What are you guys talking about? I have 1.5 blocks.
You have made this dramatic. You have made this dramatic to the top 3.
Yo, shout out to Brower and Virtual Vanquish. Not sure what
Yes.
their real names are. Well, Chin got a better hand than he had on the button.
Yep.
Give him a walk. Give him a walk.
Walkie.
GL.
God, he's got like.
Why are you tanking? Let's go.
Because he hates his hand, bro.
He's trying to time the random number generator.
He also had the internet connection problems before.
Oh,
Yes!
no!
Yes!
Nine!
Yes!
Oh, he's
Yes!
dead. He's dead.
I can't do this,
Chin is
man.
back in it.
Well, let's back in it is a very loose phrase.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. He has a solid 3 blinds.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, good, Rich. Good luck. You're going to need the bust Chin here.
Slander Alexander, this is known as the chin lock.
Yes.
get
Yes. Yes.
Wow, he's going to get a triple.
Bold.
Like, you should just both call him. Just
No,
both of you
no,
call
stop
him.
talking!
Like, come on, guys. Just call his ass. Both of you, with whatever you have.
I kind of do want you guys to both call. I want you guys to both call. I need it. I need the chips.
Oh, let's go.
Oh, I love my spot, baby.
What do you got? No, don't tell us. Don't tell us.
Hold it.
Oh, how do you
Hold
like it
it!
now? How do you
Chin
like
might
it
be
now?
Right back in this.
Oh, no, don't bet. I have queens. Yes, let's go.
Oh, no.
Let's go.
Oh, my God. He did it. He's back
With
in
the
it
queen
from
of
the
clubs.
dead. Oh, I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Oh, God. You know, there were so many people that wrote back bust, but you got nothing but fans in there now, Chin.
Let's go, man. Let's
Everybody loves a
go.
comeback story.
No, everybody loves Chin, Burke. That's the difference.
Oh, man. I'm going to have you start. I'm going to change my picture to you on my Twitter and just let you start tweeting from my account.
The poker honesty is still team bust.
Oh,
Yes,
GG,
bust him.
Broward.
Heads up. Heads up!
No!
Heads up for the belt.
No.
Heads up! Let's go! Heads up! We're gonna win! We're gonna
Mark
win!
Goodrich, congratulations, third place. You'll be receiving 3 months Solve for Y TV, all the swag, 3 months of Learn Pro Poker. Right now, you are guaranteed 6 months of Solve for Y TV, 3 months of Learn Pro Poker, Solve for Y swag, and then of course, first place, homeschool, baby.
Hey, shout out to Poker Odyssey at Tom. It's Caleb. What's up, Caleb? Good to see you in the chat, man.
Yo, we got to get down on the scooters again.
Oh,
Chin, if you
dude.
win, you should buy us all scooters.
I know where you're going with this, and there are no visuals, there are no pictures, there is no video.
No, that's not. Oh, of you falling, you're correct. Of you riding it, not so correct.
Look at Chin, not playing afraid.
He won't even throw it. That's the worst part. He's like, nah, I got 10 big blinds, man. Don't give him walks, Vanquish.
Listen, I had it.
Put the pressure
I would have
on,
called.
baby.
This is so
I would have
crazy.
called. I would have called.
Put the pressure on. Oh, Goodrich was going for the bounty on you with the Jack 4.
Think about all the things that had to line up for this to happen. What if we started on time? This wouldn't have happened. What if we didn't have to push it back to, like, think about all those
What
things.
if I don't lose a flip for 30,000 chips?
Well, this isn't all about you, Burke. I mean, come on.
Oh
Go!
my God,
Hold it!
no!
Hold!
Nine,
Hold! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
10. I can't breathe.
What is
I
happening?
can't breathe. He gets queens twice, short-handed.
He called his shot on our pre-meeting.
Oh my God.
He
I
interrupted
can't breathe.
Berkey every time Berkey had a direction, saying, I'm going to win this motherfucker. Come on, Chin. How is this happening?
Oh my God, you're the hero we don't need.
I'm gonna make this match so fucking long, Burke, just for you to just for you to suffer.
James Vecchio says, Chin busted my wife in 18th with ace-8 suited versus ace-10 off pre. She just learned poker in this quarantine. Man, I love this channel. Oh, man. Creatures can't handle that bison power. Let's go. Are you folding?
Jack Deuce offsuit.
Come on, man.
I told you I was gonna make it long.
We're almost even in chips. Virtual Vanquish, trying to go coast to coast. He's been chip leader from all the way from 18 down to 1.
Oh,
Now they all
man.
want Chin to win. I can't breathe.
I don't know what's happening.
I'm still on team bust.
After this, everybody tune into Poker Go for the Friday Night Poker action with the Action Network on the Faded Spade Card Club. It's being broadcast for free by Mr. B. Hanks and the Poker Go team.
Yeah, that actually starts in 1 minute. So if you guys have a subscription, or even if you don't, it's free. Just
That ain't
download the
starting
Poker
at-
Go app and fire it up.
I'll give it 10 minutes. Let's give it 10. It's supposed to start at 1 minute. So yes,
Whatever.
tune in right now. It'll
Yeah.
be on soon.
I think this dude has it, bro. I'm just gonna make a big fold.
What do you have?
I have a 10.
Oh my God.
He has it, bro. This line is super suspicious.
I hate you. Show
I'm
him
just-
the bluff, Virtual. Show him the bluff.
Nah, can't bluff like this.
Can you show cards? Virtual,
Yeah.
table the hand if you're bluffing. Please, I'm begging you. I'm
Turn
begging
off auto
you.
muck. Turn off auto muck and options and show.
I'm begging you. Turn off auto muck. Show him the 10-8. Just really
have? Just can't have
or
it.
the
I mean,
9
I guess you can-
jack. The
can have a
jack
10.
nizzle.
He's got
All
the
right.
jack
The
queen.
7-8
Nah.
suited.
Shut up, Berkey.
He's got the jack queen. He's got the jack queen. He's just milking.
No,
it.
he
Oh,
just- what?
show him ace jack high Virtual.
No.
Give it to him.
What do you bet? I gotta change that logo later so it doesn't blend
Show!
into it.
I'm
Can't show,
heartbroken.
bro.
He had it.
Can't show.
He had it.
I'm too fucking good.
How bad does Chin want this right now?
Too bad.
How
I can't
bad?
breathe. Wild Deuce has asked if there's a side bet. Unfortunately, not. Or I guess fortunately for me, no. You just limped off 11?
Oh man.
I can't breathe. How are your other tables going right now? He closed them all.
No, I'm at the bubble on a different. I'm at the bubble.
Oh, so you're just timing out anyway.
We got 9 people playing on the Berkey's Ballers table.
Let's go. What are you guys gambling
people-
for?
What?
Pride?
Wait, what? What is this hand?
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Is this it?
He calls. Spicy. Oh baby.
Oh man.
Oh, he snaps.
Oh no, the
Oh my
queen!
God, he is
Are you
queen!
fucking kidding me?
Let's go. Let's go.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. How did you get queens 3 times?
Limping
Oh
off
my
11.
God.
Limping off 11.
I
Yeah,
can't
have the
breathe.
nuts.
I can't breathe.
What is happening? What the fuck is happening right now? He was down to 1.5 big blinds.
Oh my
Ladies and
God.
gents,
I
he
can't-
had
I can't
one
breathe.
and a half big blinds.
This is the story everybody came for, man. A chip in a chair. You know, you got to make that difficult fold on the button to pick up queens in the big blind and triple.
Why can't you run like this in the WSOP main? I mean, you got to run like this in the Solve for Y Faded Spade free roll.
Well, because they don't rig the RNG.
Oh yeah, that's it.
This is making the Galfon challenge look like the ice bucket challenge.
That is
Yo,
the.
he just caged you with ace 6, and you 2 out him.
Oh God, that's definitely the chat of the night.
Chop. Boring, boring. Yo, he was free rolling you on the turn. I don't know if you noticed that.
Shout out to the Solve for Y poker community. Shout out to the Faded Spade community. So glad you guys took part in this. How much fun are we having? Who needs to play poker for money to have fun? Come on.
Far, far too much is the answer. I got to tweet out that Chin is heads up in his own invitational.
360 players. God almighty, I just can't believe it. He called his frickin' shot 2-3 days ago.
Relax, he didn't win this yet.
I don't care. It's already like, it's already a Cinderella story. Do we know who Veer2L Vanquish is? Do we know this person?
Apparently, it's virtual vanquish is the correct pronunciation.
Okay.
As Chin eloquently pointed out to me.
Oh, so smart.
I thought he said who he was in the chat, but if he did, I missed it.
Oh. I bet your team is just having a ball with this right now, Matt.
I hate it.
Oh. Yeah, hold it! Hold it!
Oh,
It's
no.
over!
Oh
It's
my
over!
God. That did
go!
not just happen.
It's over!
That did not just happen. Are you kidding me?
Come on, man!
Not just fucking happen.
Oh my god.
It's over!
GG Virtual Vanquish. Let's take a look at the prizes.
All credibility gone for the Faded Spade Card Club.
My
Christian
God.
Soto winning his own.
I shall pick the winner.
No. It goes
Yes.
to it goes to
No,
Virtual
it doesn't.
Vanquish.
I won the tournament. I get to give it away to whoever I want. I won the tournament. It is mine to give away.
Enjoy
Mine.
this moment. Enjoy
Mine.
this moment. We will be giving
I-
the seat to the second place finisher.
No. I will give it away to somebody.
If you want to give away another seat, that's your priority. You're welcome to.
When was the last time you felt this good playing poker, Chin?
I will teach the next FTT course. Okay.
So So shout out to Virtual Vanquish. You're going to get 1 full year of Learn Pro Poker. You are going to get the Solve for Why homeschool seat plus a set of Solve for Why swag. Congratulations for your second place finish, but first place prize. Everybody else who made the final table, again, the La Manager will be in touch sometime in the next few days. Chin apparently wants to give away a seat to somebody else, and he's welcome to do that on his own time since he managed to win the goddamn invitational.
I'd like to thank my mom.
I just can't breathe.
I said I was going to win.
He
said he was
did.
gonna win.
He said it. He said it 3 days ago.
He did
Like
say he
4
was gonna win.
times. Over and over again. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in to the Solve for Why Invitational on the Faded Spade Card Club. Make sure, if you haven't, check out what Berkey and Soto and the team are doing at Solve for Why. They've got $9.99 a month for their subscription. That's normally well over $100 at a great value. They've got homeschool. They've got the acclaimed, entertaining, informative Poker Out Loud show.
It shall be called the Wheel Invitational next time, Berkey. Okay? It is now the Wheel Invitational.
I can't breathe. We will never call it the Wii U anything.
It is my tournament. It is the Wheel Invitational.
That's the sound that an ambulance makes.
Yeah, you need help. You need help. When I'm in the tournament, you need help.
Oh, man.
Oh,
I just
God.
can't breathe right now. I'm so sad of everything that just occurred. This is more than I can tolerate. Shout out to everybody who made their way out for this. We really appreciate you. Condolences to everybody who got shut out. We're going to attempt to do this again sometime in the near future. Maybe just prior to the launch of homeschool seems like a good time to try to fire this out again. I really want to thank Tom for hosting us, for putting together a nice platform for us to play on. I want to tell Christian Soto to go fuck himself for, abusing you all and just bullying his way through this tournament structure. Very unlucky for all of the victims out there that Chin took advantage of. Very fortunate to those of you who were able to stave off elimination long enough to fall in the top 18. If you have any feedback, please don't hesitate to hit us up. Thank you, obviously, always for tuning in. We're going to have another live stream on Sunday. I'm probably going to be jumping into those WSOP streets again. So thank you all for the support. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Kinsey, Nate Silver for being a guest. Hish, still not going to attempt your last name. We really appreciate you all being a part of this. And on that note, congratulations, Christian Soto.
Thank you, Berkey. If you want to learn how to win, come to the next homeschool. I'm out.
It's been real, guys. We'll do it again soon.
That's it.
Thank you.